Ain't no fucking way. What is this word? Unknown. How's it going, man? How you doing? What the fuck is this word? Oh, okay. There's a chance. It's a small chance, but there's. We're brute forcing this, okay, if we have to. Maybe. Bell. Two double letters is so shit. Two double letters is so shit. Oh, that's so sad. You're kidding. Fuck. Common, general, popular, dominant? Yeah, that wasn't great, was it? Unknown. That wasn't great. Tonic water, soda, root, leaf, stem, bulb, parts of a flower, a vegetable parts. Okay, good. Tonic soda. You go again tomorrow then. Yep. Tonic soda hammer string. You know, when you think about it, making connections has got to be so difficult, right? Because you got to pick 16 words that have 4 sets they can go into, but you also got to make sure there's also no, like, there shouldn't also be, like, super prevalent connections that aren't the ones you're choosing, if that makes any sense, right? Like, there can't be 3 words that are, like, really similar in, like, another way that's not one of the 4. Like, that's quite hard to make. It's like, there's a lot of sophistication that goes into it. It sounds like it'd be really simple, but there's a decent bit of sophistication that goes into it. Harsh, how's it going, man? Unk, not ink. Tisk. Can't even do your insults properly. String pedal hammer. Hammer, key, pedal, string. Ah, perfect Wordle. Let's go. Perfect Wordle. Second halves of drink names. Club soda. What's Stormy? Tan. Gin and tonic. What's tan? Tan and Stormy? Eh? Yeah. The perfect Wordle and the the perfect connections and no Wordle cancel each other out. Compare, contrast, pose, picture, contrast picture, dark and what the fuck is dark and stormy? Delicious seasonal cocktail that features dark rum, ginger beer, and lime. Oh, that sounds quite nice. What? I gotta try this. That sounds nice. Phantom, how's it going? I don't think I've seen you here before. Are you normally a lurker or new? Plague, how's it going, man? I've never heard of this before. What the fuck? It even looks so nice. What the fuck? I gotta try this sometime. Picture contrast. Plague, how's it going, man? Sorry. Okay, picture contrast. Print. Picture contrast. Picture. Photograph. Photo. Negative? Oh, negative could work. No. See? No. Print contrast. I'm active in the Discord sometimes, but I'm not allowed to join the streams really because I'm not done with Lord of the Mysteries or just popping. Oh, I see, AP. Okay, no worries, Phantom. I appreciate you popping by. Where are you in Lord of the Mysteries, though? I find it so cute when people are like, I'm not allowed to join stream. It's like, I don't know about allowed, but yeah, you shouldn't, probably. I agree. Contrast. Different. MX, how's it going? Volume 3. Oh, you're relatively early. Okay. You're quite early, yeah. Okay. But I don't know about you, but I really enjoyed Volume 3 of OTM. I found the traveling around and stuff so fun. Thanks whoever gave me the sub. It was either unknown or it was unaware, I think. Yeah, no, it was unaware or unknown. So either of them. Spectral, yo, how's it going, man? Volume 3 ends like halfway through the story. This is also true. What the fuck is this? Oh my god, this looks like cancer. I think I already did the cuddle today because I did it like last night. And I fucking got it, boys. 51:49. Peak as fuck. Yeah, it's fun as fuck so far. I'm where Klein reforms a whole religion. The fuck? What is he referring to there? I'm sorry, am I missing something? Whoa. Oh, Calvatua. Calvatua, yeah. What? That's not the thing. Here? Bro needs to okay, bro, come on, that's Rereading time? Yeah, okay. Let me spend my whole fucking life reading and rereading Lord of the Mysteries. Nothing else, okay? This is it. This is my whole... I'm stuck in a... I'm just unironically stuck in a fucking time loop. Holy cringe. Yeah, and the reading, still catching up on VODs. I appreciated awareness. Thank you, buddy. If you... how far behind are you, awareness? More viewers, so if you reread. More viewers, for sure, for sure. But you know what? You know what won't be as many viewers? Or sorry, you know what will be a lot more viewers? When I fucking finish and I can just make videos, okay? When I just finish and then I can take like a bit of time off streaming and just make videos. Or I'm gonna do like my plan. Dude, if I can get this shit to work, that'd be so peak though. My plan is, if we can, I want to do like Atrioc style videos. I don't know if you guys know what that is. Let me just pull up Atrioc's channel, okay? Now, Atrioc does finance and like marketing based stuff, so it's a different niche altogether. But in principle, it's what I'd like to adapt to what I want to do. Don't want to plan his 10-year roadmap. You can read Lord of the Mysteries every year. Fuck you. I'm not doing that, bro. You do a Ford cosplay and stream? Ford's cosplay. Okay. So what Atrioc does every day, okay, yes, the deepfake guy. Okay, this was a while back. Okay. So basically, what he does is he streams every day for like 2-ish hours or so, and then from that 2 hours, there'll be like a segment of it. It'll be like half an hour, 20 minutes, or whatever. That he has like a specifically prepared segment of what he wants to do, of like a video that he's doing, but he does it live, and then that way he can react to, you know, comments and stuff. But he's also live streaming, but that way he gets content that he can post as a video for people who don't watch that don't watch lives, and it's perfect because then he gets a live. Oh, maybe not every day, but like quite often, and he gets like a daily video as well. It's like a really good mix. Okay, see, MX, this is okay. He wants to say like not every day because he did 12 hours ago, 1 day, 4 days, 6 days, 7 days, 8 days, 9 days, 13 days, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 4 weeks, month. Like he uploads super consistently. And it's like, this is what I would, in theory, like to do. Like, if I could have like a, hey, today I want to talk about like this, and then we're going to put that up as a video. It would be so peak, because I can minimize a lot of editing time if I'm doing it live, because a lot of it can just be me talking, chat, you know, reacting, all that stuff. And then like a little bit of editing I can put up top afterwards, right? Like, it'd be so peak. This is a reaction video, so this doesn't work great, but you understand in principle what I'm talking about. And I feel like this is what I would like to adapt to what I would like to do, if that's possible. Because that'd be really clever. I can stream. I can post videos. The channel can grow. Win-win all across the board. Thoughts? Oh, chess game. Of 25, he did daily, was stopped in January. And then, yeah, of course. Dude, he did daily uploads for a year straight. Come on, gotta give the guy some slack after that. Here, but then he takes, no. Here, he takes. Here. Yeah. Your theory video? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. The theory video is actually kind of like it was kind of like a pre-trial to what I wanted to do, and it did okay. Like I'm fine with that level of what do you call it, performance at the moment for the channel. And then that way, once I have all the stuff, I can make a lot more broader scale videos, right? And then I can speak about them a lot more coherently. So I feel like that it'd be good across the board, I think. Here. Or was that wrong? PewDiePie? What about PewDiePie? Dude, true awareness. Dude, honestly, when season 2 comes out, now that I'm done Lord of the Mysteries, there's gonna be like a good, I'm gonna try to do like a fucking campaign of like shorts and stuff to try and get it pushed out. Hopefully it won't end up like me, who lost interest after finishing COI. Yeah, but you lost interest in COI. You didn't lose interest in all of Lord of the Mysteries. If you did, you wouldn't be spending the past year watching it with me, okay? So you kind of forget yourself. I'm gonna try, if possible, when season 2 comes out, to do like an aggressive shorts campaign to try and make it a little more mainstream. It's most likely gonna be season 3, probably, yeah. Because right now, the only really big Lord of the Mysteries YouTuber that exists is Light Novel Historian, right? Like, say what you want. The guy just hit 100K. That's based as fuck. Good for him. And he hasn't posted. Dude, has this motherfucker not posted in 2 months? Bro, what? What is he doing? He was doing so good. 100K? 90K? And he just left? What's he up to? Is he just doing shorts again? He just does mostly shorts again?
So what actually happens to Natsuki Subaru for...
When was this? 3 hours? Okay, yeah, okay. I guess he's mainly shorts. Okay. Moon, how's it going, man? Bro must be stockpiling vids when the special episode comes out. Oh, that might be the case. He mostly retweets on Twitter. Where am I going now? That can't be it. Oh, this idiot. Like, Ellen live? Oh, bro, is everyone streaming nowadays? The fuck? Here. That doesn't work. Where are we at in COI right now? We are gonna finish volume 3 tomorrow on Moon. So we're like close to the ending right now. Historian mostly farming ReZero right now. Oh, I see. Some days and catch it live so I can call you Unk. There's so many more reasons to watch it live, bro. What is the fucking reason? That's the only reasoning? What is this? Can't do this. Alright. Alright, bye awareness. Appreciate you popping by, buddy. Have a good night or day, wherever you are. Can't take. He's getting into doing anime reactions? Ah. The plot of chickens. It's hard to see it. It's hard to see him as a real fan. See how badly he found. I don't know if you can call it farms everything. Like, he has different varied interests. That's okay. He likes different shows. He likes different whatever. He makes videos about what's popular at a given moment. That's totally fine as far as I'm concerned. It's one thing if he's LARPing as like a fan when he's not one. That's a separate issue. Fine. But like if he's a genuine fan who, you know, just has like, who switches between what's popular at the moment to get his channel most traction, that's totally fair, dude. Only once you're big enough do you have the privilege of being like, oh well, I'm just gonna make content about this even though it's not popular because I know people tune in and I know I can have fun doing it. Like, that's fine, but I mean, honestly, at the start you gotta LARP a little bit. The Twitter drama I saw him in was... I don't know. Dude, I'm not on Twitter. Okay, technically I have a Twitter account, but I check it, like, for once a year for, like, 30 seconds. I stay off that shit, especially ever since Elon got it. It's just way worse. Ugh. Everything is just at Grok. Is this true? It's like, oh my fucking god. What even is this? Dude, what the fuck? Oh. Misclick. That was a misinput. Twitter is the single most awful. Dude, I avoid that shit like the plague. I don't know, I get a lot of cool fan art on Twitter. Maybe. Here. Grok, is this a searchable question? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like that's literally what all of Twitter is right now. And it's like, fuck that shit. Here doesn't work. Here? Here. Okay, he and I are even now, so this is fine. So here, here. No anymore because they made Grok premium exclusive. Wait, really? Wasn't that all anyone used Twitter for nowadays? What the fuck do you mean they made it exclusive? Here, free. Okay, he's one move away from checkmate, so I need to give a check of some kind. This can't be the check. Oh, check. Oh, so good. Can't go here, can't go here, can't go here, can't go here. Here, no. Here? I was one move away! I lost because of that? Bro, I started it! I didn't even know that was possible. I figured if you start a puzzle, it'd let you finish it. The fuck? I'm gonna do a bullet game really quick, okay? Yeah, because it's bullet, so it's gonna have to be quick. This is mate, isn't it? Oh, stop! I fucking hate bullets so much. Cringe shit. And yet I do it to myself anyway. Special episodes? Oh, true, yeah. Do we know what they're about? Do we have, like, do we know content, or is it just skip stuff from season 1? Kilongos, skip City of Silver and Floors and Geo stuff. And Derek stuff. Okay. Okay, so it should be pretty fun. So I think we're on 450. I don't think Chris will be here today. Two 30-minute episodes? Okay, so an hour of content. We can milk it for at least 6 hours. Goddess bless. Is he a believer of the Evernight or an evil goddess? From the looks of it, probably an evil one, Lumion thought. Simultaneously, he sighed. No wonder people who believe in evil gods love to convert their parents, spouses, and children into one. Or no matter how cautious they are, details can't be hidden from their families. Anthony held a burning cigarette in his hand as he asked, how did Philip die? He had a heart attack in the middle of the night and couldn't make it to the hospital, and he said, where's his body? It was purified, cremated, and sent to the family cemetery in Quartier de l'Arato. Ask her about the fate of his characteristic, Lumion asked. He believed that Philip was most certainly a beyonder. After all, he had managed to rise to the rank of a general in the army and came from an aristocratic family. Where are his characteristics? Where are his characteristics? What are characteristics? Anise asked. Anthony analyzed the mentality and knowledge of the individual. Where did the thing that emerged from Philip's body go? Did he have any special items on him? When the servant arrived to carry him, he told me with great difficulty that if he died, there would be no need to be surprised by any strange changes in his body. I was to stow away the thing that appeared and leave them for the children. Later, I found too many things happened during the funeral, and I was too sad. That thing disappeared, and it was never found again. Never found. Lumion long suspected that Philip was likely faking his death. Now he believed it even more so. He felt that the other party's characteristic hadn't even emerged. The phenomenon Anise saw and the things she put away were an illusion created by the corresponding ability, and they vanished naturally in time. What did it look like? Anthony asked. It was his fist. It turned skinless, and the joints were like black metal, very sharp. The characteristic fused with a certain part of his body, transforming into a main ingredient. Lumion was experienced in this. Anthony inquired more and confirmed that Anise didn't have much information. Seeing this, Lumion circled the master bedroom, his gaze landing on the photo on the desk. A photo of Philip's family, but the color photography technology had emerged in recent years wasn't used. In the family portrait, Philip wore a high-ranking military officer's suit. He wasn't too tall, and judging from his surroundings, he stood at about 1.7 meters tall. His hair was thick and slightly curled. His eyes were small, but they had the sharpness of an eagle. Lumion observed closely and memorized his appearance. If he truly had faked his death to escape his fate, according to Madame Justice, this likely involved the loss of an old fate and acquisition of a new one. Let's go, Anthony said. To that charity organization, Lumion said. The purpose of the charity organization, known as the Dream Seekers, was to provide assistance to outstanding young men who had come to Trier to pursue their dreams but had fallen into a predicament. The apartments were located in a house rented by the Dream Seekers. To this end, even the staff employed such young men and provided them with free apartments. The apartments were located in a house rented by the Dream Seekers. The lower 2 floors housed workplaces and the upper 2 housed staff quarters. Asa, who controlled the organization, resided there, indicating that she was genuinely assisting the Dream Seekers and not amassing an opportunity to gain wealth. We're reading to 457? No, MX, we're gonna have to go way longer. I'm thinking we'll probably go to like 470 today. Because if I'm finishing the volume tomorrow, I can't have any more than like 24, 25 chapters remaining. I can't, what am I gonna do, a fucking 50 chapter stream? That's not happening. As soon as they alighted from the carriage, before they could approach the street, Lumen and Anthony saw crimson flames rising in the night. Fierce flames transformed a building into a colossal torch. Lumen's eyes narrowed as he had a bad premonition. After exchanging glances, they sprinted. The two of them passed through an alley with a barricade and saw that the house that had turned into a fiery fireball was Building 11, the office and quarters of the Dream Seekers. The flames soared into the sky, sealing off the building and scorching it black, yet no one cried out for help or attempted to leap from the buildings. It was as if everyone had died. We're too late, Anthony said. No. Perhaps fate doesn't want us to gain anything. No matter how early we arrive, we'll see something similar. At least this means we're on the right path, Lumen paused. Anthony fell silent before saying, this proves that Philip's connection to an evil god. My encounter with my comrades may stem from this. Do you still want to pursue this? Lumen asked. The situation is getting more perilous with each moment, far more dangerous than the encounter with gunfire you've seen before. Up to this day, do you still wrestle with the fear from that night, the sound of the gunshots? Do you really have the determination to press forth? Anthony lapsed in silence, a battle-hardened, weathered man. Perhaps I perished in that attack. What remains is a spirit, relentless in its pursuit of the truth. I can be vanquished, but I cannot relinquish the pursuit. That is what I felt when you mentioned the existence of these leads. Lumen offered a sly grin and turned to Anthony. Welcome to the abyss of vengeance. Damn, that is kind of peak though from both of them. Anthony saying like, I died a long time ago. What remains? This is all I'm here for. And Lumen going, yeah, I'm here too, buddy. All right, we're gonna get along swimmingly. Returning to the market district, Lumen wasted no time in composing a letter to Madam Magician. He couldn't shake off the feeling that the current situation had stretched beyond the abilities of his current team. This uncertainty gave Lumen pause, making him wary of delving deeper into the mystery, fearing that their actions may inadvertently endanger them. Boris resides within you, a heavy stone capable of stirring ripples in the river of fate. Before long, the messenger returned, all fate intertwined to weave a grand drama. Should you come across any future clues, share the vital ones with me. Investigate the lesser ones on your own. Boris resides within you. A heavy stone capable of stirring ripples in the river of fate. He's not easily swayed, unlike others. Furthermore, we shall make other attempts. Considering the Terror Club's potency, Lumen suspected that this case may be met with direct interference from angels or even evil gods. Likened to the hostile, individuals engaged in painting, writing, and those with a penchant for reading tend to encounter trouble. Gabriel, the playwright who had once taken up residence in the motel, Gabriel relocated to Rue St. Michael in Quartier. Music's a bit loud? Oh, thank you for letting me know. Mr. K and the official organization had only ruled out well-known painters and authors. Countless aspiring talents who hadn't yet made a name for themselves flocked to Trier. The investigation of all these hopefuls quickly seemed like an insurmountable task. Lumen made a decision, and at the break of dawn he would visit Gabriel, inquiring whether the playwright had encountered any obscure authors or painters recently. At noon the following day, Lumen quickly realized that it was only a short distance from Rue St. Varro, where the Dream Seekers charity organization was situated, to Rue St. Michael. As expected of the arts district, Lumen felt he was inching closer to the truth. He glanced away from the sun obelisk, standing proudly in the square center. He couldn't help but notice impoverished painters hunched over their sketch pads at the square's edge, along both sides of the street. Musicians, and ever so often, white homing pigeons gliding gracefully beside the fountain. The warm autumn sun cast a poetic charm over the scene. Having spent a considerable amount of time in the market district, often consumed by thoughts of revenge, engrossed in situations, or participating in banquets, Lumion had rarely immersed himself in the everyday life of Trier. Unfazed by the sunlight and the ambiance, donning a brown-red hat, a light blue shirt, and a casual brownish-yellow suit, he made his way to a bar called Third-Rate Authors. As Lumion approached the bar counter, he couldn't help but overhear. That piece called Café is incredibly controversial. Some people laud it for its vibrant colors and audacious composition. Others think it's a deliberate attempt at abstract art. I find it fascinating. The artist's idea of vividly depicting through those overlapping colors. Think about it. Isn't that how many cafes are? Noisy, bustling? I'm willing to call it a groundbreaking masterpiece. You're talking about that kind of abstract that's never been recognized or sold? Lumion couldn't help but think, cafe. Isn't that the painting Mullen created using his ass cheeks? Someone genuinely holds it in high regard? You Trierans. Oh, Kameen! How's it going, man? I was gonna say F you to... he always does, man. Upon reaching the bar, Lumion spent 8 licks on a glass of absinthe and asked, "Everyone, I have a question, and if you can answer, this glass is on me." Everyone turned to him. "I'm looking for a playwright, Gabriel. I need him to write a script." Gabriel had frequent meetings with fellow writers and may even host private gatherings at his apartment. After all, Lightseeker was pretty successful and was quite popular. He hasn't shown up for a few days. He claims he's locking himself away to finish a story, a middle-aged man said. Probably swamped with the scripts. Would you consider other playwrights? There are several equally talented ones. How will I know if I don't give it a try? I come with plenty of sincerity. Alright, the man said. I hope you won't be disappointed. The man led Lumion to 34 Rue St. Michael and climbed the stairs to the 5th floor. This is where Gabriel resides, room 503. Lumion knocked, but there was no response. Perhaps he's out looking for food, or he's completed the work and gone to the theater manager. Would you like to return to the bar for a drink? I'm quite an experienced writer myself. Though I've never ventured into script writing, my novels sell quite well. What have you written? Lumion asked. I wrote Monk Pursuing Dog and its sequel, Dog Pursuing Monk. Ain't no fucking way. Bro, he's a bad writer. He said I wrote Monk Pursuing Dog and Dog Pursuing Monk. A sequel? As he looked at the somewhat forlorn man, his perspective shifted. It came out last month, the man said. These 2 novels have made my boss a fortune, but I didn't even get a 10th of it. No, not even 100th. Boss? Lumion inquired, recalling the Bard, a key member of the April Fools, had once authored Emperor Rozel's Secret Chronicles. He saw this as an opportunity to gain some insights. The middle-aged man sighed. We don't have authorship rights, just writing tools for the boss. He pays us a fixed tiny salary for our manuscripts. On Rue St. Michael, there are many third-rate authors like me who don't even have pen names. May I know your name? Lumion asked. Rabe, the man said. I'm going to pronounce the B really hard, okay? Because that word could easily be misunderstood by YouTube. Rabe. His joy was palpable as he responded. As long as the boss doesn't assign me any new mission, If my attempts to reach an agreement with Gabriel fall through, I'll consider you, the man said. As long as the boss doesn't assign me any new missions, you'll find me here at the bar every day. You should make Harsh the mod. He shows up more than the actual mods. No, come on. Chris is normally so good. Chris told me like 2 days ago, he said like, hey man, if you do a morning stream on Friday, I can't make it. If you could do an afternoon stream, I'd appreciate it. Like he told me this like days ago. Chris is great. And Chris's step, because Chris wasn't originally a mod, but when I started COI, most of my mods hadn't read COI, so they were like, yo, like we're just of no use. And so Chris was like, nah, I can do it, I don't mind. And he's been so good. Compared to the playwright's room, and Chris, Chris is, I think, the only one here who doesn't have any agenda. He doesn't have like, hey, don't do this, I don't like that, don't talk about that, nothing, okay? It's just Chris is just a chill guy. Love that dude. Kami's not here right now. Yeah, it's all good. But there's like 7 of us. None of you are. I know all of you. None of you are gonna spoil me. It's okay. Has Romero not read CO? No, Romero hasn't read it. The bum. Lumen quickly surveyed the room and noticed a jumbled stack of papers. Oh, sorry. Watching the author go down the steps, Lumen took a wire from his pocket and unlocked Gabriel's door. Lumen quickly surveyed the room and noticed a jumbled stack of papers. He shut the door behind him and proceeded to walk to the desk. It's Gabriel's handwriting. This is his residence for sure. Moving into the bedroom, he spotted a black dungarees draped over the bed. The sight confirmed his earlier suspicion. He was in the right place. This was a pair of pants Gabriel wore frequently in the past. However, the playwright was absent. Recalling the man's statement, Gabriel hadn't been seen in several days. He examined every item in the room, much like a hunter tracking its prey. After a few minutes, Lumen picked up a white glazed porcelain cup with a single handle from the desk and noticed about a third of it still held cold water. At least a day, Lumen thought. What happened to Gabriel? Is it possible that the prominence that had attracted the attention of government spies seeking a conversation, or perhaps he had unwittingly become a target of some money-seeking kidnappers? Setting the cup down, Lumen combed through the room meticulously. So returning to the desk, he picked up the manuscript, eager to delve into Gabriel's work. The script told the fate of a struggling author who crossed paths with a woman coerced into joining in a criminal organization. Together, they found solace in their despair, torment, and harshness. They offered each other encouragement and warmth. Before the story could end, it ended with a passage about the lover's disappearance. She's here. My beloved has arrived from the night. She's left. My beloved walked towards the distant hostel. Though it was an ordinary word in the manuscript, hostel stood out to Lumen. His gaze shifted. At some point, the porcelain cup with the handle, which he had moved, had somehow returned to its original place. As a hunter, he had unwavering memory for any alterations made in his surroundings. A creature that is challenging to detect with the naked eye and can only be confirmed by certain traces. Lumen reached into his pocket and retrieved a pair of glasses. The mystery-plying glasses. I don't know what song Kami would want here, but I know he would want me to change music, okay? So we're gonna change something. I don't know if this is what he would want, but I gotta change it to something, okay? I have no context of what's happening in the future, okay? So I'm playing this by my ears, okay? Lumen carefully positioned the glasses on the bridge of his nose, and the room seemed to whirl immediately. Suppressing his nausea and dizziness, he observed the scene before him. The bed pressed against the desk would seem to lean against the ceiling. Behind the ceiling appeared to be a trap, as if installed in the wardrobe. A pale white face materialized beside the wardrobe. The face looked disheveled. It was Gabriel. He looked cleaned up, as though he hadn't burned the midnight oil in a while. He stared at Lumen with a vacant, distorted smile. His right hand reached from the void, gently waving before his face shrank into the depths. Vanishing completely, Lumen quickly surveyed the room, but Gabriel hadn't reappeared. He promptly removed the mystery-prying glasses, removing them from the eye of truth on the left side. He wanted Expedition 33 soundtrack at the end of 452. Oh, okay, that tells me which one. Thank you. That tells me which one. Stone Waves? Oh, not this one? Thank you, thank you. Unknown, what's up? His right hand reached from the void, gently waving before his face shrank into the depths. Lumen quickly surveyed the room, but Gabriel hadn't yet reappeared. He removed the glasses, replacing them with the Eye of Truth on the left side. This item, composed of pale white flesh and dark blood vessels covering the corresponding ear, allowing Lumen to hear noises from beyond the horizon. The intertwined blood vessels formed a lens that adhered to the eye, revealing faint blood and layers of colors. And in the room, with a third of it blending into the surroundings, the invisible curtains resembling a melanide glass was also discernible. The latter two phenomena rapidly dissipated or gradually returned. Before the whispers could become more distinct, Lumen removed the monocle and massaged his forehead. Based on the information, he had deduced that Gabriel had been corrupted by the hostel. However, the playwright retained a degree of his rationality, recognizing Lumion and bidding him farewell. Returning the cup with a single hand to its original position seemed to serve as a greeting. Lumion frowned. Why does he seem to accept this? He was even pleased. What did he see in the hostel? His gaze shifted to the manuscript. The story is the unfinished script. It felt eerily similar. Lumion picked up the manuscript and read it, slower than before. He confirmed the protagonist was Gabriel himself. The character's personality, the details of his life, all seemed to align. Regarding the female lead, who immersed herself in the underworld and persistently encouraged the male lead's creation, Lumion couldn't help but feel that if it weren't for the difference in genders, he could be one with such a background. But the lead's personality, her way of speaking, and her encouraging words seemed different from his own. In essence, the female lead's identity, background, and experience appeared to be a blend of Charlie's and my situation. It was, however, someone who interacted with the male lead. Gabriel previously mentioned that only me and the human model, Seraphine, encouraged him at the motel. Charlie merely drank with him. A human model, that's right, a model for a painter. Seraphine spent a night with Gabriel before moving out. Oh yeah, the lady that corrupted him. Lumion rapidly connected the dots, sensing the root of the problem may lie with Seraphine. This woman had once accompanied a painter to a small seaside town as a motel. After an extended absence, she returned to the motel. How could Gabriel have been corrupted that night? Is it possible that Seraphine moved to the hostel? Lumion perused the script, leaving no word unturned. Since this was the story from Gabriel's own experience, it undoubtedly contained factual details, clues. As Lumion continued to read, bathed in the sunlight, he sensed the concealed love that resided in Gabriel's heart, the ache of remorse and reluctance and the yearning for a relationship. The protagonist, increasingly aware of the heart's true desire and feelings, ceased to evade them. He sought out people who were acquainted with her, visited motels and hotels that occasionally haunted his dreams. Yet his endeavors proved futile, leading him to compose the inner monologue. It ended here. I don't know if you found Seraphine. Lumion placed down the manuscript in disappointment. He looked through the drawers. However, regrettably, the contents of the drawers only covered the first half of the manuscript. By the time Gabriel reached the second half, he appeared to have delved deeply into his emotions and penned his inner monologue. Lumion looked at the paper before him, pondering. From the scripts and the other items, it's obvious Gabriel hadn't managed to locate her. He hadn't come into contact with the hostel. Furthermore, neither the script nor the man from the bar's description. I'm not even saying his word. I can't take the chance. I'm not even saying his name. I can't take the chance. Description suggested that Gabriel exhibited any signs of corruption or boons until he ceased writing. So why had this person suddenly transformed into an unseen, untouchable monster? Just knowing of the hostel shouldn't lead to such a thing. Apart from me being special, Franca and Jenna knows about the hostel. Anthony, Teresa, and the Demoness sect also do. Beatrice of the Bliss Society knows the location of it and aims to retrieve a painting, which is the reason Franca and I made a mistake. Boulevard of the Sinners prophesied a catastrophe associated with the hostel, leading to corruption and to a peculiar corpse. What could be the reason? Could he have recently encountered something that deepened his understanding of the hostel? Lumen made a preliminary guess, and continued searching through the apartment, yet he found nothing. He left the street and made his way back to the bar, where he seated himself next to the man he spoke to earlier. "A glass of La Fille Verte?" Lumen asked. "Do you have any idea where Gabriel's been over the past couple of days?" "You'll have to ask them," the man pointed. As an underprivileged author writing as a ghostwriter, he considered himself fortunate to know a rising star like Gabriel and attend his gatherings. He had to work regularly every day to fulfill the missions from his boss. Guided by the man, Lumen approached a small table and was taken aback. Weren't these the same individuals who were discussing Painter Mullen's art? In response to Lumen's inquiry, the leader of the group said, "We last saw Gabriel 2 days ago. We all went to the Trier Art Center together to attend an exhibition. Tricardo Town, Franca followed Brown Sauron, who wore a black coat, as they navigated through the manor. "Where are you taking me?" Franca said. "To meet my teacher. You have passed and are now an official member of our sect." Her teacher, a high-ranking demoness? Does this mean I enjoy the membership perks? Perks was a term coined by Rizal. "What would you like?" Browns asked. The formula for affliction? Quite bold. Do you believe you have accrued enough points to ask for such a thing? Of course, if you can assist the sect in achieving something, this can be your perk. And what's that something? We've received information that the Iron and Blood Cross Order smuggled an item into Trier through an underground tunnel several months ago. If you can uncover what it was and identify its possessor, you can get the formula. A few months ago. Franca recalled Christo's loss of his biological brother a little while back. In an effort to aid the mob's leader in recovering his brother and the transported goods, she and Lumion had been drawn to a strange mirror world and narrowly escaped. During their adventure, Franca acquired a classic sterling silver mirror. From the looks of it, the sect attaches great significance to the item. That's right, given the item had triggered the strange mirror world, it's highly likely related to the assassin and hunter pathway. "I know what you're referring to," Franca said, and explained to Browns in the same manner they had explained it to Christo. In essence, she shared everything except the fact that she and Lumen had been drawn into the mirror world, instead relying on Lumen's unique ability to escape and how she obtained a classic silver mirror. According to Christo, his brother and many subordinates transform into monsters, including the reversal of left and right hands. This attracted the Purifier's attention. How did the official Beyonders become aware? For that, you'd need to ask a Purifier, not me, Franca said. Without further discussion, Browns led Franca to a circular pavilion. Seated in the pavilion was a woman donning a black court dress. Her bright, dark grey eyes had a touch of sadness. Upon catching the sight of the woman, Franca was initially struck by the overwhelming beauty that met her gaze. Dude, I love how everyone at the Demoness sect is just constantly just gotta be jerking off to each other because they're like, "Oh my god, she's so pretty! Oh my god, she's so pretty!" She had seen her during her and Lumen's surveillance of the fake Teresa, Beatrice in court at the cathedral. As the most beautiful woman in attendance, she had been invited on stage. Is she her teacher? A high-ranking demoness? No wonder that she oversees everything, ensuring its success. What she didn't expect was that this woman openly followed them and even participated in a photograph on stage. This is my teacher, Demoness of Black, Clarice. They're not, yeah, exactly. They're looking Very much not in just a respectful or appreciative way, okay? Demoness of Black. Demonesses with a color in their title are considered exceptional even amongst demigods. Some are even suspected to be angels. Franca placed her hand over her chest and bowed. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Franca avoided complimenting the woman's appearance, understanding that most demonesses took pride in their beauty while simultaneously harboring some inner conflict regarding it. Every member needs to believe in the primordial one. You should have known about this more than a month ago. It is time to officially pray to her. Franca wasn't surprised. We are all children of the primordial one, Franca devoutly and respectfully prayed. Recite the honorific name of the primordial one with me and Hermes, the source of all catastrophe, the symbol of destruction and apocalypse, the demoness who controls chaos. Even though the Demoness of Black spoke in Antesian, the surroundings darkened significantly. Franca remained composed and repeated the honorific name. Suddenly, she saw grapevines extending towards her, growing thicker and thicker. One of the python-like vines extended to Franca and opened a dark blue vertical eye, reflecting Franca's figure. The figure distorted, transforming into a man with a bloodied face. The man had short-colored hair, slightly thick eyebrows, and lake blue eyes. It was the face she saw in the mirror every day before becoming a witch. Franco Roland. Franco's expression turned ferocious, his eyes with a tangible hatred. Franca's body stiffened. After staring at her, the vine retracted. Franca finally felt her body. She blinked that everything around her was normal. There was no python-like vines, nor any vertical eyes. Franca lowered her head and completed her prayer. As Franca continued her ritual, she couldn't help but shake the eerie experience from her mind. The connection between the primordial demoness and the underground mirror was undeniable. She had encountered her past self, Franco, in the mirror as well. This time, it wasn't Franca reflected in the eye either. It was Franca's former appearance, Franco. Now, you are a child of the primordial one, Clarice said. Thank you for your guidance. I thought the honorific name of the primordial one would be akin to the ruler of the mirror world. I'm surprised that's not part of it. This isn't the complete name. There are 2 more lines you can't know right now. She has 2 hidden lines. Interesting. Every new member receives a primordial one statue, possessing an anti-divination and early warning abilities. It can assist you in performing rituals. You must pray to it daily. While speaking, she produced a bone statue, palm-sized, vaguely resembling a beautiful woman with hair that reached her ankles. Praying every day. Franca stowed away the statue. Keep a close eye on the Iron and Blood Cross Order, especially Martin. If they make any unusual moves, tell Browns immediately. If it becomes critical, retrieve the statue, set up an altar, and perform a ritual. But after completing it, place a prepared letter into the mirror on the altar. Does the Demoness sect know that the Iron and Blood Cross Order is on the brink of launching a major operation? In Quartier 2, outside the Trier Art Center, Lumin stood on the steps. Gabriel has been enjoying art exhibitions for the past month or so. He doesn't pay much attention to each painting. It's as if he's searching for one that his soul has been waiting for. There's nothing unusual about him. He didn't fixate on any visitors. The information revealed by these answers left Lumin puzzled. He decided to visit the art center himself. To explore the exhibition titled Future Impressions, scheduled to end in 2 days. Any predictions? I don't know what the catastrophe looks like. I have to imagine, since everyone is... since all evil sects are like running away, I'm assuming it's like inevitability. It's gonna be some other shit, like they're gonna try to summon another angel of inevitability, like do a similar to Cordu thing here, maybe even try to summon like the child of inevitability, because a city of Trier has like so many more people than like Cordu, then maybe they can do something bigger. I was thinking that maybe we were gonna fight Loki and like locate him, but that doesn't seem to be the case right now. It seems like we're more focused on this catastrophe, so I think that's gonna be bigger. Before arriving, Lumion had secured a hotel and set up a room for a ritual. He summoned a messenger and informed Madame Magician. Initially, he had planned to relay the message from the bar's washroom, but he recalled that the doll messenger had severe mysophobia and OCD, so he opted to spend some money to find a decent hotel. As he gazed at the art center, Lumion took a deep breath and entered. Future Impressions wasn't a large exhibition, employing only 3 halls. Lumion admiring the artwork on display until he spotted a familiar figure. Ludwig stood in front of a tall instead of a wall painting adorned with donuts, his eyes fixated on the artwork, sensing someone watching him. He turned around and spotted Lumion. Running away again, Lumion said. Dude, I'm telling you, Ludwig is an angel. Ludwig is gonna be like similar to Will Oscepted, I'm calling it. No, I told my godfather that I can't learn things just limited to a textbook. It's more important to see and interact with things as well. And he brought you here? But he couldn't spot the Baron around. He noticed that Ludwig's intelligence and knowledge seemed to have improved a lot, allowing him to come up with a new excuse. Yes, it is important for a child to cultivate an appreciation for art from a young age. So no textbooks or exams every day? It's incidental. There's been some growth, but not much, Lumion noted. At that moment, the Baron approached. Aren't you worried he'll get lost? Lumion asked. As a conspirer, Lumion picked up on something. Given the Baron's past anxiety about Ludwig running away, he shouldn't have let the child alone in the exhibition hall. He's been doing quite well recently and hasn't tried to run away. He was engrossed in admiring the paintings, so I didn't want to disrupt him. Sounds like something an irresponsible parent would do, but you weren't like this. I think you did it on purpose. You left him alone to see what he would do. You don't have to worry about him. You have to worry about the others. If he gets hungry and you don't provide food, I'm afraid he'll eat someone, Lumion thought. He sensed that the Baron had ulterior motives for arranging this visit to the exhibition. The Baron looked at Ludwig. When you get back, write an essay regarding the exhibition, detailing your feelings and the work that left the deepest impression. Regrettably, Lumion's exploration of the 3 small exhibition halls yielded no significant findings. Instead, Mullen's Cafe, which he had created with his ass cheeks, drew the attention of numerous tourists. Standing in the exhibition hall, Lumion contemplated his next move. Retrieving his brown, gold-rimmed glasses, he decided to give them a try. Since his unaided vision and spirit visions revealed no discernible issues, he opted to test the mystery prying glasses. Carefully positioning the glasses on his nose, Lumion braced himself as the world around him seemed to spin and whirl. Each painting took a life of its own, breaking free from the confines of the wall. Some of the paintings seemed to regard Lumion with a chilling, penetrating gaze. Initially, taken aback, Lumion feared that something extraordinary was afoot with all these portraits. But he realized that he wasn't under attack. The figure in the portraits merely stared at him, silent and coldly. Oh man, if I just didn't promise that I'd finish the volume this week, I could have just chilled all week with no worries about nothing. I just had to fucking do that. God. I'm an idiot. It was as if they had attained a degree of consciousness and a sense of being, yet they hadn't fully emerged from the canvas. Through the lens of mystery prying, he had witnessed another reality, Lumion thought. Perhaps in some parallel aspect of the world, each painting held a significance in reality, but they remained two-dimensional, flat and lacking depth, incapable of significantly impacting the human realm. There may be exceptions, moments where extended contemplations of works induced feelings of delirium or anxiety. It occurred to Lumion that painters could potentially amplify the limited, flat nature of these objects. In essence, the characters within the painting may possess an incomplete, condensed, spiritually deficient existence in the 2D world. One painting depicted the future of Trier, a divided realm. On the surface, men and women reveled in lavish banquets adorned with opulent attire, yet beneath the surface, ragged individuals dwelled in dark tunnels, subsisting on worms, rats, and moss. Yet through the glasses, Lumion glimpsed fat, gluttonous pigs with oozing oil from their mouths on the surface. Below, grotesque, contorted visages, decaying hands reaching upwards. This was the true message. In the next instant, Lumion spotted the Baron and his godson. The former appeared unremarkable when viewed through the mystery prying glasses, but there was a faint, brassy aura emanating from him. The latter, something chilling unfolded as he turned his head, seemingly locking eyes with Lumion. Ludwig's chubby face took on an unsettling transformation. His skin seemed to writhe, as if on the verge of shedding, and something from below was trying to burrow out. Lumion removed the glasses. He had always sensed that Ludwig was far from ordinary, but this sent his instincts into overdrive. The true nature of the innocent human skin concealing the boy remained an ominous mystery. The boy seemed like white and like his skin was about to shed. So is he the same? Is he like, or is he Ouroboros? There's no way, right? Because I think Ouroboros has 2 sequence 1 characteristics, and Will had the 3rd. So what the fuck is this? Because it seems like he's a snake of Mercury, no? Lumion had worn the glasses for an extended period of time this time, and the discomfort was overwhelming. Despite the diminishing dizziness, he felt profoundly nauseous. Even a conspirer's constitution couldn't withstand this. Taking a deep breath, Lumion made his way to the washroom adjacent to the 3 exhibition halls, situated at the end of a long corridor. Inside the washroom, Lumion attended to his urgent needs. After washing his face, he regained some composure. As he exited, his gaze drifted to the opposite wall. One particular painting drew his attention. A painting set vividly against layered backgrounds, focused on a naked woman. As he stared at this painting, a thought dawned on him. During Gabriel's visit to the exhibition, he had seemed normal, at least as per the accounts of the authors, but they couldn't have monitored his every move, especially mundane activities like going to the bathroom. Avenue de Marche. The theater. Jenna had just stepped out when she spotted a familiar figure. A young boy. The boy who had brought me good luck last time. That formidable Beyonder. With a slight bow, she greeted the boy. "Were you waiting for me?" I wasn't waiting for you. You were waiting for me. You met me earlier than any other choice. What's the matter this time? Are you offering me some more good luck for the impending catastrophe? Jenna's thoughts raced as she asked, "Didn't you say that this direction was a little dangerous? Why are you here?" That day was that day. Today is today. Just because it was a little dangerous then doesn't mean it is so today. All right. Do you need me to buy you some ice cream? The boy, however, responded with a long, almost adult sigh. It's something else. I'll pay you. What's the favor? The boy reached into his pocket and retrieved a gleaming golden coin. This will be your reward. A lucky golden coin. Is that the coin that Klein gave Will? Because Klein gave one of those coins to Will, right? If I'm honest, I still don't completely understand the significance of those fucking coins. Because I know we had them since volume 2, but like I just don't understand their, like, what is their... Is it just that they're tainted with the aura of Sephira Castle? Like, I don't understand their significance, honestly. You're telling me the coins revealed in Volume 2 of Lord of the Mysteries will be revealed in Volume 6 of COI, their importance. Is that what you're trying to fucking tell me, Okamin? You're lying. There's no fucking chance. What is this, One Piece? The boy chuckled. This is a gold pound, more valuable than the louis d'or. You're not from Intis? I'm Loanese, the boy said. Jenna chose not to dig deeper, understanding that whether the coin was a gold pound or a louis d'or didn't affect its practical value. Based on their previous encounter, she trusted the boy to bring good luck. She looked at him, awaiting his next words. The boy returned the golden coin to his pocket, showing no intention of prepayment. At 10 tonight, enter underground trier from the entrance. Here, proceed as far as you can, any path available, until you reach an underground river. Find a spot nearby and wait for the first person to pass. Take all his belongings. Before completing this manner, do not tell anyone what you want to do or where you plan to go. Go underground purely based on intuition and relying on... Go underground purely based on intuition and rely on good luck? Bro, did Will just give her the fucking mission to go mug someone? She said, you're a sequence 7. The least I can expect of you is to mug an ordinary individual. Good luck. As for how to acquire the person's belongings, there seemed to only be one solution, through combat. Jenna smiled. Got it. When you obtain those items, hand them to me, and I will pay you the coin as a reward. How should I address you? And where can I find you when the time comes? You can call me Will. Talking to me like that makes me sound like an adult. I'm just in elementary school. When the time comes, you will naturally encounter me. You may leave. However, after walking more than 10 meters, curiosity got the best of her. She turned back, and the boy had just vanished. Jenna looked around and realized that he had entered a nearby cafe and was now seated at a booth by the window, where an attendant just served him a cup with 3 scoops of ice cream. He's just a child, Jenna mused. No, he's like hundreds of years old. He's just like this. In the financial district, within the Trier Arts Center, Lumin took out the mystery prying glasses once again. With no hesitation, he donned them. Amidst the dizziness, the oil painting in front of him underwent a transformation. The faces adorning the women turned to look at him. Simultaneously, Lumin sensed the presence of a creature on the rooftop, where the overlapping sky was, staring at him from a distance, appearing to be navigating the obstacles and approaching him. As the faces of the woman in the oil painting clarified, her identity became apparent. Miss Seraphine, the former tenant of the motel. As her face became clearer, Lumin's surroundings darkened. He quickly removed the glasses, and all the anomalies vanished. As expected. Although Gabriel is an ordinary person and doesn't have the glasses, he once slept with her. That must have been how he noticed traces of his lover when he entered and exited the washroom. Could it be that Seraphine possesses multiple faces on her body? Wasn't Gabriel afraid? Yeah, I'm sure he was, but he still did it anyway. After discovering the painting with Seraphine, he encountered that normally difficult to see creatures when he returned. The timing matches up. The water glass on his desk was more than a day old, and he visited the exhibition 2 days ago. As Lumin thought, he turned his attention to the painting. To the painting's signature, Claude Pierre Auguste. The painter was not widely recognized. His artwork wouldn't have been hung along the corridor to the washroom. Likewise, he believed that since something happened to Gabriel, Pierre might have gone missing as well. Regardless, as she informed Madame Magician, what if there are clues left behind? Otherwise, they wouldn't have dealt with an ordinary person like Gabriel. Lumiere had no intention of pursuing Claude Pierre Auguste himself. In addition, Gabriel had been attacked late at night after learning about Claude, the painter. Lumine's transformation was only fractional. Lumine gazed at the painting, smiling. Will I be attacked? I look forward to it. Around 9 p.m., Franca, recalling the Demoness sex mission, suspected the Iron and Blood Cross Order would make a move soon, and her plan was to visit Martin while digesting the pleasure potion along the way. Rather than her usual method of knocking and entering, she decided to take a more covert approach, to hide around 11 Rue de Fontaine, observing discreetly before finding Martin. Recognizing Martin's sequence and abilities, she returned to her bedroom and retrieved a palm-sized Demoness statue, which she concealed in her pocket. This would enhance her ability to remain hidden. I'm heading to Gardner's, Franca waved at Jenna. Jenna acknowledged and sighed. Franca arrived at Rue de Fontaine via rental carriage and chose not to have the driver stop at the building 11 as usual. Instead, she disembarked from a distance and swiftly disappeared into the shadows. Her familiarity with the surroundings allowed her to find a gap in the guard's patrol and nimbly scale the side wall to descend. Franca didn't attempt to infiltrate the building directly. Instead, she followed the shadows, circling to the edge of the front lawn, next to the gas street lamps. As time passed, Franca remained vigilant, focusing on observing the figure appearing at the windows and their activities. The black-cloaked individual was of average height, standing at 1.7 meters tall. Their entire figure was concealed. Who could it be? Martin's partner? A key member of the Iron and Blood Cross Order? As the figure exited the fence while Faustino retreated into the villa, Franca hesitated for a moment. She realized... Oh, stop. Okay, we're good. She realized that unless she ventured into Martin's residence thoroughly, she wouldn't be able to gain valuable information. Her earlier exploration had been open and yielded little. Franca, who was invisible, touched the statue in her pocket and grew confident. She circled around the lawn's edge and scaled the fence. At 10 p.m., Jenna embarked on her adventure to Underground Trier, an entrance not far from the theater. Lacking a carbide lamp, she relied on her assassin night vision to navigate through the pitch-black environment. As she advanced, the silence around her grew more and more profound. Shouldn't she have a light in here? Isn't it, bad to be in the dark? Sure, MX, if you don't mind. She refrained from using invisibility, and recognizing her limitations. The duration with which she could maintain her powers was limited, and there was no way of knowing when her target would arrive. In the silent darkness, time seemed to stretch as Jenna's mental stress built up. At last, she heard footsteps. Oh, you were asking me if I know? Oh, I do not know. We play it by ear. Listen, they don't tell me beforehand, and if they do, it's probably just in the spoiler chat, and I'm not going in there, so nasty a lot, mate. His next objective was to ascertain whether the enigmatic entity that had targeted him from afar, attempting to approach rapidly while he observed Seraphine's painting, would pay him a visit in the night. He laid on his bed, his eyes closed. Lumiere had full confidence in Madame Magician. As his thoughts blurred, he succumbed to slumber. Lumiere found himself in a hazy dream, returning to the motel. Gabriel sat on the entrance steps, the playwright's visage somewhat translucent. What are you doing here? Lumion asked. Leave Trier immediately. This place is about to get pretty dangerous. 71? Well, I was gonna go to like 70 anyway. Fuck it. We will, yeah. What have you discovered? Lumion asked. I don't know what they're planning, but I know it'll be bad. Are you staying at the hostel? Where is it? You need to be like me to enter or gain the approval of the pixies. I don't know how to find it. I just found myself at the door when I arrived. It's related to the pixies. Did Gabriel rely on the corruption to alter his existence and reach the hostel? Why did you choose to go there? Seraphim came to get me, and I couldn't refuse. Do you realize what you've become? Lumion thought. My script has already achieved success. I have the reputation and income I wanted. I have no regrets in that regard. Now all I want is to be with her, whether she is human or monster. After becoming a monster, I seem to have the ability to see certain futures. That's why I knew you would come to me. I asked Seraphim to let me stay in the room for 2 days to bid you farewell. She's not a monster. Do you want me to rescue you and Seraphim? Is it possible? Gabriel asked. There is hope, but I need you to tell me everything. In the moment, Gabriel extended his hand, his eyes filled with fear, and his form shattered. Lumion snapped awake, and he found himself staring at the ceiling. Courtier de la Cathédrale Commémorative. Franca, carrying the statue, followed the black-cloaked man while remaining invisible. The man appeared to have extensive experience in evading pursuit. He changed directions and even doubled back on his path. If Franca hadn't relied on invisibility in the statue, she would have lost him. Finally, the man came to a stop in front of underground Trier. He half-turned and examined his palm, leaving Franca perplexed. What's going on? Is he palm-reading himself? After a moment, the man descended the steel staircase and disappeared. Franca followed closely behind. 20 minutes later, the man reached a sealed tunnel. Franca, standing a few meters away, looked over and saw 3 lamps embedded in the wall. 3 classic oil lamps. 1 high and 2 low. I think that sounds about right for 71. Oh, sorry, give me 1 sec. Okay. Franca had been in Trier for a while, and this scene triggered a connection in her mind. Carbonari. She recognized this as the symbol of the Carbonari, an organization seeking to overthrow the government. The Iron and Blood Cross Order collaborates with them? From her perspective, the Iron and Blood Cross Order seem to aim to seize power themselves, but their current focus seemed to be on the underground and entrance to the Fourth Epoch. The black-cloaked man swiftly passed through the opening door, and Franca noticed a thin, ever-changing fog emanating from within. This fog feels familiar. There must be something wrong. She hesitated to follow when she felt a tremor in her pocket. Franca touched it, and her expression changed. The classic silver mirror trembled, the one connected to the mirror world. Franca concealed herself, watching the door close slowly. Okay guys, then I guess we're reading to 471. Y'all ready? I'm gonna do... and then we'll do 23, 24 chapters tomorrow, and we'll be done. What? We've only got to do 14 more chapters. Don't lose heart. Beside the flowing underground river, the figure moved swiftly along the water. He didn't use lanterns or lamps or anything else. He moved through the darkness with ease. Taking a deep breath, she retrieved the ancient arrow from her back and prepared herself. No, Harsh, we're gonna go. I want Sunday off. I'm not doing shit Sunday. I'm gonna fucking sleep and do shit. Do dick. I'm doing nothing, okay? Jenna plunged the arrow into her chest, drawing her blood. Before the figure could approach, she sprinkled fluorescent powder all over herself. Enchanted. Body concealment. With that, she vanished, blending into the darkness. Moments later, the figure with red eyes arrived at the area, and Jenna watched from the shadows. Suddenly, the darkness came alive beneath the figure's feet, forming chains that wrapped around his legs, waist, and torso. Only then did Jenna get a clear look. This was a man holding a greyish-white cloth bag, wearing a dark grey robe similar to that of a monk. There was a gem in his right eye. A monk from the cloister, Jenna thought. She and Frigga had crossed paths with these monks before. They had augmented their bodies with mechanical modifications. Confronted with a target whose skull had become metal, Jenna abandoned the idea of striking behind the ears and concentrated a dark flame in her palm and pressed it against the monk's head. Simultaneously, a red beam shot forth, slicing a few shackles resembling the abyss, but it only addressed the front. The other direction were already ensnaring the mechanical enhanced monk. Jenna thrust the flame into the target's head. A menacing black flames expanded, consuming the monk's spirit body. Leveraging the high-speed agility granted by the arrow, Jenna shifted her position to evade the counterattack. She sought an opportunity to weaken him as best she could. In less than 2 minutes, the monk, unable to break free, collapsed. Jenna exhaled and lowered herself, picked up the cloth bag, untied the rope, and inspected its contents, and found an array of canned paintings and oil brushes. So we can do this. We can do this. What? 13 more chapters? Easy. And then just same thing tomorrow. And bang, we're done. And then we start volume 4. There's 7 volumes in COI, right? 7, not 8. Could this be a painter? Or was he delivering them? It seemed like a routine task, but the fact that he had chosen the depths of underground Trier raises suspicion. 8? Oh, I thought it was 7. Either there's a problem with the destination, or the painter he's looking for is problematic. A barrage of thoughts raced through Jenna's mind. Is it possible that an artist with powers was working on murals underground, requiring tools? Jenna decided to search the monk's robe. She placed these items into the cloth bag and secured it with a knot, and examined the mechanical components that comprised half the monk's body. Her plan was to transport him back for an interrogation with CL, Franca, and Anthony. Being a witch, she had mastered magic related to spirit channeling, but lacked practical experience, so was concerned about making a mistake. As Jenna was about to put her plan into action, gears on the monk's face began to turn. The parts came to life, spinning wildly and devouring the flesh on the other side of the monk's body. The scene resembled a horrifying accident. Jenna's instincts immediately warned her of impending danger, but before she could react, the parts, along with her own flesh, lunged at her. Extending the coexisting sounds of cracking and creaking, she transformed into a mirror, shattering. She reappeared approximately 10 meters away. Without looking back, she grabbed the cloth bag and the arrow and embedded it into her chest and darted around the dark wall. Behind her, the sounds of mechanical grinding and colliding persisted, but they couldn't catch her. Jenna heard the crisp sound of metal falling to the ground. Jenna ran until she reached a named location in underground Trier, and removed the arrow from her chest. If not for that, she might have been caught by the mechanical body. As Jenna assessed her surroundings and sought out the underground Avenue de Marche, she reflected on her experience. She felt as though the chilling tales about Franca and CL had become a reality. The parts on the monk's body that had undergone enhancement seemed to assume a lifelike state. This is the true nature of the mystical world, where powers are accompanied by unimaginable perils. Jenna turned onto the underground Avenue de Marche and made her way to the surface. She couldn't help but shake the suspicion that the monk and the sinister cave she and Franca stumbled onto were somehow linked. After the stone door closed and the dark tunnel fell silent, Franka emerged from her hiding place. She replayed the scenes she had just witnessed, trying to pinpoint the source of the familiar feeling. Just as she was on the verge of resorting to magic mirror divination, a memory surfaced. The moment she and Jenna had eliminated the Deep Valley Cloister Warlock, a similar fog appeared. The other party's exploded corpse transformed into a blood mist. 007 told us that by the time the purifiers arrived, the target had already been shifted. These words, leaving behind only cryptic words. Albert Goncourt, Underground, Riot, and Time. Albert is one of the leaders of the Carbonari, aligning with the 308 lamps. Could it be that the Iron and Blood Cross Order is collaborating with the Carbonari to incite a riot involving the monks? Sorry, it's cold and I was leaving my window open. And now my room's sufficiently chilly. Could it be that the item Martin used to smuggle in was requested by the Carbonari? Is it located not far behind that door? Franka connected the dots, realizing the urgency of this matter. Though it wasn't directly related to their primary mission of finding the hostel, it seemed far from a trivial issue. Should I report it to the Tarot Club, the Demoness sect, or the authorities? Only children do multiple choice questions. Adults do them all. Lumion awoke from his dream, his mind filled with questions. Madam Magician didn't realize that Gabriel had used a dream. Wait, there were no signs of Madam Magician pursuing Gabriel. Did she not realize that he used a dream to warn me? It's impossible. She can exit my dreams at will in Cordu, and she's known to be the bane of these special monsters. He couldn't believe that Madam Magician wasn't paying attention. The insight he gained from the conspirer's influence left Lumion with a nagging feeling that the dream was not what it seemed. To deceive Madam Magician would indicate something extraordinary about Gabriel or the hostel. As Lumion was only a sequence 6 and lacked extensive knowledge, he refrained from speculating. Dude, I can't. We're literally one sequence away. Once Lumion gets to sequence 5, then he'll be really cool. Because someone with his fucking vengeance getting Reaper, it's like, oh, I'm about to do I'm about to commit some war crimes, boys. Knowing the messenger's preferences, he decided to send a letter only after returning to the motel. Before long, the reply arrived. I didn't notice Gabriel influencing your dreams. Initial considerations are, you have a close connection to the hostel. A close connection between me and the hostel? How is that possible? Could it be that Gabriel used this connection to conceal himself from Madam Magician's scrutiny? Lumion found Madam Magician's hypothesis absurd. As Lumion pondered, he realized, my Pooh Mayer, Susanna's lover, the ostracized key member of the Bliss Society. Could it be that he had secretly done something in the market district that led to my relation with the hostel? He wants to prove himself, and I'm one of his targets. Is his plan to establish a connection with me and the hostel and to detonate it at a moment? But how? Terry Boris would have noticed. Or he might have played a role. Amidst his surprise, Lumion didn't panic and smiled. I wonder if I can use this to find the place. When the time comes, I may have the opportunity to meet the Sampsons and have the support of numerous major arcana holders. Just as Lumion was about to write and inquire, he heard his soft footsteps approaching his room, and a knock. Franka and Jenna were standing outside. We found something significant, Franka said. You too? Call Anthony over. Nearly 15 minutes later, Franka and Jenna shared their experiences in the room, carefully omitting details about the Demoness sect and Will. Lumion listened, and his brow furrowed. Some of the Deep Valley Cloister monks are suspected to be linked to the hostel and the catastrophe. An important cloister of the god of steam and machinery? Lumion couldn't help but rub his temples. Are both EBS and God of Steam not reliable anymore? Is there even a future in Trier? Nah, Trier's done. Just nuke it. Just tell Will. Hey. Yesterday once again, charm. Or whatever. Dude, imagine if that's what actually ends up happening. They fail, and Lumen's about to die, and it's like, oh my god, it's so over. And Will goes, not yet! And then Lumen wakes up the day before, and he's like, oh my god, we got a chance, boys. At the very least, those monks at the cloister are still discreet when they're up to no good. It means they still have reservations, suggesting that the entirety of the church isn't problematic. I think so too, Anthony said. At this point, there is no longer something a small team like ours can handle. It's best to leave this to the purifiers and the hive mind. What he didn't say was that the Tarot Club would also be keeping a watch. Alright, Franca concurred. With the plan confirmed, Jenna and Franca left the motel. Lumen drew back the curtains and said to Anthony, your best option is to head to Suhit Steam Locomotive Station as soon as you wake up tomorrow and purchase a ticket to leave Trier. Oh? You've been with us recently and you've learned a lot. You should be able to discern the looming issues. The catastrophe will be dire, and if you don't leave quickly, you may never get the chance. As for revenge, for finding Philip, I can wait until this is over. There's no rule stating you can't leave. You can't return after leaving. Why aren't you leaving? Anthony said. Aren't you a spectator? We're on a mission. How can we? Anthony stared at Lumen. Lumen held a light beer in his hand, his gaze still fixed outside. After a while, he just scoffed. Besides, I have the ability to survive such things. I will protect Franca and Jenna, but only the two of them. Do you think you can compare to beautiful women who have a deep connection with me? His protection referred to teleporting Franca and Jenna away to the Fool's Cathedral. Anthony didn't respond and looked outside. I was born and raised on the Mid-Seashire coast, an area with industrial cities where the god of steam and machinery has more believers than EBS. When I was fortunate enough to become a Beyonder, my greatest dream was to retire safely from the army with some savings. I'd buy a land near my hometown, close to the forest, hire a few people for farming, and in my free time, I'd hunt secretly in the forest, breathe in the sea air, or go fishing. You may not know this, but the fish in the Mid-Seashire are inedible due to pollution. Locals only eat it if they have no choice. If I were to return to my hometown now, I might never be able to enjoy such a life. It's not about money. I need a sense of ease. I still have nightmares about our camp being ambushed, corpses everywhere. I feel my heart racing every time. I can imagine that if I left tomorrow and see the news of the Trier catastrophe, I'd have the same nightmares. I fled out of fear that time. I won't do it again. I'm well aware of my limits, and all of this doesn't concern me. But I've been in Trier for years now. I know many people, many children, many neighbors. I don't want to hear of their deaths. I'll do my best to cooperate and do what I can. Only if there is no other choice will I consider running. You don't need to understand. This may be the paranoid decision of a patient with severe issues. You make it sound as if I don't have any, Lumen chuckled. A smile appeared on Anthony's face. So you chose to stay too, didn't you? He turned around and left his room. Lumen relished the night view of Trier, the enduring cacophony of Anarchy Street. He then took a seat and began writing to Madam Magician. New leads. There are now 3. The Deep Valley Cloister and the Sacred Heart Cloister. Second, I can use a strong connection between me and the hostile to infiltrate the underground route that Jenna followed when she encountered the monk, and following my instincts try to reach. Thirdly, an assault on Martin. Since the Iron and Blood Cross Order collaborate with the Carbonari, which is linked to the cloister, they may have some info. We'll take responsibility for the first direction. I refrain from mentioning the second direction because it poses a significant risk to you. Furthermore, Gabriel's warning has been likely detected, so the hostile will be on high alert. We can explore the third cautiously, but you must be well prepared before confronting Martin. Silently, flames erupted, setting the paper in Lumen's hand ablaze. He planned to get some rest. At dawn, he would convene with Franca, Jenna, and Anthony. Apartment 601. Jenna observed Franca pacing the room. What's bothering you? I intend to seek out Martin. Although Ciel didn't mention it, I can sense that he will propose dealing with Martin in the coming days. This is a breakthrough. I must seize the opportunity to get more pleasure. Don't you have many lovers? Even without Martin, there are others. Long gone. Long gone. Gardner and his lovers are my current interest. Without Martin, you can turn to CL, Jenna said. No. I can't get past myself. I'm going to Rue de Fontaine. Don't display any unusual behaviors, Jenna said. I know, Franco replied. I won't let Martin feel like I'm giving him hospice. With that, she opened the door and left. Jenna let out a soft sigh as she watched Franco vanish. Then her gaze turned to the grayish-white cloth bag on the coffee table and muttered, I wonder when I'll get to give this to Will. In the middle of the night, she awoke. In her dream, she found herself in an underground quarry cave with Will standing beside her. Understanding the significance of the dream, Jenna nodded and changed into her attire, carrying the cloth bag. She left the room with an uncanny sense of familiarity with the location and how to reach it. Following the revelations of her dream, she descended, turned, and squeezed through the gaps at times, arriving at the cave she had seen. And in time, Will, dressed as he had been before, held an orange jack-o'-lantern. Is this what you want? Jenna asked. Will accepted the bag. Instead, and didn't open it. Instead, he retrieved an item known as the lucky gold coin inside. This is your reward. This is both luck and misfortune. It signifies that you will encounter many things and bear significant responsibility. You may not understand it now, but in time you will. How do I use it? Simply keep it with you, Will advised. Jenna stowed away the coin and made her way back to the surface. To her astonishment, she found that she couldn't recall the route she had taken. While she had arrived guided by her spirituality, she was now fully awake. She had no choice but to navigate independently, following a general principle of ascending. After walking for a while, the ground shook as if an explosion just took place. Another earthquake? She turned around a corner and her feet gave way. The ground caved in. Jenna adjusted her body using her assassin abilities, allowing her to descend gracefully like a feather. Okay, let's do that. Okay. Okay, we're gonna do this chapter, and then I'm gonna take like a 5-minute break, and then we'll do the last 10, okay? Last 10, holy shit. Good? After the Church of the God of Steam and Machinery lost all its dioceses in the Lone Kingdom, the former Archbishop of Backlund returned to the headquarters in Intes. Over the past few years, he had traveled to various places like a firefighter. He understood better than most that despite the outward appearance of peace, the world was riddled with festering wounds. Horimic collected his thoughts and sighed, turning to his hive mind team. Let us take action. God will protect us. By Steam. But you said night stream? I said day stream every day except one. What are you talking about, Kami? What? Every day except one, which was Wednesday. We did this. Huh? As he spoke, he drew an emblem on his chest. The Hive Mind Deacon issued the command for purification, and the members of the Hive Mind sprang into action. The miniature sun-like fireball was the first to blast out of a cannon barrel. Behind it followed a cascade of colorful cannonballs and bullets of various shapes. After a few rounds, the cave within the quarry was breached. Hormic's eyes gleamed with an inhuman dark red light. He could clearly discern that the white mist within the cave had nearly dissipated. The Archbishop advanced, leading 2 squads of hive mind members. Before entering, he cast a glance at the nearby Deep Valley Cloister. Hormick studied the human arms and legs attached to the gears, crankshafts, and other components. Under the Deacon's orders, the hive mind members initiated another round of purification. After several iterations, Hormick and the hive mind members reached a vast laboratory-like chamber. Here, the human arms intertwined with machinery, following ceiling tracks, perpetually gripping cabinets, sinks, long tables, and iron boxes. A few human corpses were piled in the chamber, and a humanoid figure, made entirely of machinery, stood among them. This mechanical being stood at the towering height of over 3 meters. One of his cybernetic eyes resembled an emerald, while the other resembled a ruby. This giant cast a glance at Hormick and the others. Seeing this, you have no reason to doubt, right? We are the chosen children of God. We follow the teachings of God while your spirits and flesh have been tainted, causing you to abandon the throne of God. Turning his attention to the giant, his expression remained undisturbed. You used a spirituality gem, didn't you? Using humans to refine spirituality gems is even more ruthless and wasteful than employing steam to drive them. Claude, I thought you were lost and would return. I didn't anticipate you would become a heretic. Heretic, the giant laughed. You are the heretics. When was the last time you received a revelation? All the time, Hormick responded. Tell me, Claude, where is the hostel? Are you in league with those evil gods? To set your sight on the 4th epoch Trier? You have strayed from the teachings of God. You no longer possess the spirit of sacrifice, Claude said. The future of this world. Oh, sure. The future of this world and our chance for a deity to ascend to the pinnacle lies within the 4th epoch Trier. The sooner we unlock it, the greater the hope. I will show you who the heretics are and who the true believers are. As Claude finished speaking, the light in his eyes flared and the entire chamber trembled. In an instant, the hive mind members, who were on the verge of unleashing their firepower, witnessed projected paintings depicting the evolution of humans from obscurity, advancing step by step. These paintings were ethereal, weighty, and delicate, magnificent. At that moment, a face appeared outside the painting. A face wearing a towering crown. His nostrils decayed to the point where only 2 black holes remained. Silently, more faces pressed against the surface of the painting. Some had their head bisected by a ruler, and others adorned with yellow paper covered in strange symbols. These faces were larger than Hormick and his companions combined. The members who beheld their faces experienced a profound fear from the depths of their heart. Just as they were on the verge of losing control, the faces vanished, just as they had appeared, and the scene before Hormick's eyes reverted to its normal state. The giant, Claude, and the frenzied operating chamber re-entered his vision. "Heretics!" the Archbishop said. The sound of gears clicking filled the chamber. The hive mind members launched their attack. I feel like Hormick did this one time before, no? And that was the time that they let Amon out? Is that not what happened there? I feel like this motherfucker doesn't have a great history. The quarry experienced a distinct tremor. In underground Trier, just outside the stone door, from which the Carbonari had disappeared, fireballs hovered in the air. Blazing Dennets showed up with he had one hand in his pocket, his gaze fixed on a nearby door. Oh, my fucking goat's here, let's go. His burnt yellow hair and his eyebrows framed his face. He held a weed in his mouth. Nearly 20 men, all dressed as sailors, silently fanned out in the vicinity. Some with daggers and others wiped the barrels of their revolvers. A grinning, brown-haired sailor finally broke the silence. "Captain, why are we aiding the Intas government in pursuing the Carbonari? And why are we doing it for free?" "Damn fools. Do you want to see Trier in ruins? Are you not Intesian?" As he spoke, he swung his fist at the door. "Don't these assholes know their captain owns numerous properties in Trier?" average fucking average fucking boomer homeowner. You don't understand. We can't possibly slow down immigration. We need more demand. My housing prices will collapse. They're not doing it to help others or not. My housing prices. Upon the surface of Dannet's clenched fist, blazing white flames gathered as he thrust forth. The ground shook and the stone door shattered. Jenna descended gracefully in the endless darkness, occasionally brushing against gravel. But after what felt like an eternity, her feet finally touched the ground. Her eyes reflected a building, a slightly crooked beige home. The building before her was one she recognized. It was Auberge de Côte d'Or. At that moment, light streamed in from numerous rooms. Jenna spotted a man and a woman standing on the third-floor balcony in each other's embrace. The man sported black frame glasses. His neatly combed hair added to his refined appearance, and the woman wore a lake blue dress. She had never seen the woman, but she had met the man before. The missing playwright, Gabriel. The hostel is the underground version of Auberge de Côte d'Or? The fuck is happening here? Bro, how lucky is that fucking coin that Will just gave her? She reached the hostel like immediately. It is Klein's coin, yep. I don't think it's Will upscale. I think it's Lord of Mysteries upscale, but I don't know how much you upscale the Lord of Mysteries. Like, how much more can you upscale the guy? He's literally at, like, the peak of his fucking verse. He has like two people that can maybe rival him, and that's it. That's your lot. How much more can you upscale that guy? Only then did Jenna, who appeared to be lost in the daydream, snap back to reality. Snap back to reality. Oh, there goes I'm sorry. As her thoughts raced, chaos reigned in her mind. Is that Gabriel? Is this the hostel? Auberge de Côte d'Or? No, the real one isn't. Or CL would have long discovered it. Is this a mirror image of the motel? Jenna quickly deduced, relying on the information at hand. Yet, upon reflection, she said something was off. Auberge de Côte d'Or didn't use a naming system. It used a naming system like Room 207, 305. Voisin was in Room 7 and Polly in Room 12. That doesn't make any sense. Jenna averted her gaze from the counterfeit motel. She noticed the place was identical to Anarchy Street. Everything lined up perfectly. The buildings, the street vendors, the pedestrians. If she hadn't spotted Gabriel and hadn't been plummeting this entire time, she would have thought she would reach the surface. As Jenna carefully, original creator owns that fraud? Yeah, but he doesn't even fucking exist. He's like the remnant aura of his bloody blah. As Jenna observed the pedestrians and vendors, something was off clearly. Their vacant expressions and infrequent changes made them eerie, mechanical. Their faces seemed to vanish at the end of the street, only to reappear. It is fake, like a production. Most people, like the building, serve as a backdrop. Her attention then shifted to the motel. After a few moments, Jenna decided not to risk infiltrating the motel, opting to explore the area carefully. The layout and situation here mirrored La Marche de Courtier de Gentleman. Well, I soloed the verse by that logic, Harsh. I just have to buy the physical copies of the book and set it on fire. Boom, soloed the verse. Checkmate. With every step, her sense of unease grew. She even began to question if her unusual neighborhood was real. Jenna couldn't help but look up at the sky from the shadows. On cup scale. Blue sky, white clouds, the westering sun. It all felt real, yet helped Jenna confirm that this wasn't the genuine market district. She had descended into the underground in the middle of the night to search for Will. Was she missing for 12 hours? Across from 3 Rue de Bleu Blanc, she observed apartment 601. Kami did finally show up on Nanya. Beside the glass window, she saw Franca. Behind Franca, Jenna, dressed in a light blue dress, busied herself with tidying up. She and Franca are here too? Jenna observed closely as Franca confirmed that Franca still used her right hand, ruling out the possibility of being a mirror person. Likewise, in apartment 601, both Franca and Jenna's vacant expressions persisted. While remaining hidden, Jenna pondered for a moment the location of the exit. Lacking experience, she sought inspiration from Lumien's accounts. Should I head to the border? Since this place replicates the market district, and, well, at least Rue Anarchy, it resembles a reflection. Could I find the exit by locating a place? The church has always told us they can seek refuge in a cathedral. I wonder what St. Robert looks like here. Does it seek God's protection or adhere to the Black Sun? If it's the Black Sun, it's a different realm. Jenna decided to make her way to Avenue de Marche and observe the state of the EBS Cathedral in this world. She made sure not to expose herself to passerbys, resident on both sides, or newsboys peddling their wares. After advancing a distance, Jenna's eyes froze. There was no sign of Salle de Balbry on Avenue de Marche. Where the building should have been, there was only an impenetrable darkness. Damn! Say what you want. Amon is kind of goated with the sauce, though. These motherfuckers will, like, replicate everything, and they're like, we're not doing that guy. We're not doing that guy. He'll know. In this dark, black hole-like scene, bright red lines alternated between slowly materializing and being consumed by the surroundings. What? Dude, say what you want. Everyone? I love how everyone is like, you know, he's not as strong as he used to be. We're gods. But he is a mon. Just leave him. Like, could I beat him? Maybe, but like, probably, but like, he's a mon though. He's him. Dude, say what you want. Everyone will test everyone in the verse, and everyone goes, I don't want the smoke. I don't want the smoke when it comes to Amon. Your Will voice has only gotten worse. Okay, guys, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The Will voice is so bad. Uth just asked me to end stream. I know we were gonna end the volume tomorrow, but it's gotten so bad that Uth said we can't. We have to end stream here. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm not even gonna finish this chapter. It's over. All right. Thank you, everyone, for coming. If they replicated Amon, he would parasitize the whole team. Dude, genuinely though. Yeah, so we'll end stream there, okay? Yeah, thank you everyone for coming. I know we were supposed to do like another 10 chapters, but Uth said otherwise, okay? So that's it. That's your lot. Muttering to herself, Jenna contemplated, will I be able to leave this world just by walking into that darkness? Well, I have a feeling that it doesn't lead to safety, but a danger. As these thoughts raced, she was suddenly jolted by a commotion. Swiftly, she cast her gaze towards the other end of Avenue de Marche, where she spotted several indistinct figures. They clutched a stack of papers. Did the master or guards of this world discover the collapsing tunnel above and suspect that outsiders have entered, prompting a search? Uncertain about the abilities of these figures, Jenna didn't dare risk assuming they couldn't spot her lurking in the darkness. Her only option was to retrace her steps and return to Rue de Bleu Blanche. Yet, even on the other side of Rue de Bleu Blanche, the faintly lit figures were conducting searches. Jenna's heart raced as she had an idea. She slipped into a building, scattering dust in an inconspicuous corner and reciting the incantation to become invisible. With this, she dashed along the street's shadows and infiltrated apartment 601. After waiting for a few moments, Jenna followed the imposter Jenna into the washroom. Seizing the moment while the imposter was occupied, Jenna drew a dagger and executed a mighty blow. Her form materialized and the dagger found its mark. The fake Jenna struggled, but Jenna covered her mouth. After a brief struggle, the imposter met her end. Rather than withdrawing the dagger, Jenna chose to change into the fake Jenna's clothes. Her extensive experience with worn-out clothes helped her conceal the hole at the back. She then concealed the imposter's body in the cupboard beneath the sink. I don't think a cupboard underneath a sink can hold a body. Like, I just don't think it would hold the weight. It would just break. I don't think so. I think if you put like a 150-pound person in a fucking cabinet under a sink, the cabinet would just break. Are you trying to tell me that in this mirror world... the construction is made from like better stuff? I don't think so. I don't buy it. She then concealed the... We should have told you Jenna died. She then concealed the imposter's body in the cupboard beneath the sink to prevent any blood from flowing. With this done, she wrinkled up the clothes and mimicked the action she had observed. Soon, a faint figure floated apartment 601. Jenna didn't look up, continuing to tidy the coffee table. After this agonizing 7 or 8 seconds, the figures moved on to the next apartment. Jenna breathed a sigh of relief and proceeded to the washroom. After what had just transpired, she felt an urgency to seek help. She couldn't afford to wait any longer. While these figures didn't seem overly formidable, Jenna knew that engaging them would undoubtedly draw attention. If this place was indeed the hostel, the previous residents, granted boons by evil gods, posed a significant threat. Jenna hadn't reached outside to the place for help from the beginning because she lacked the means to send a message without leaving this place. Now she was left for no other choice but to try something. I wonder if the telegram office here can be of any help. Maybe I should offer prayer to a deity? The mighty, eternal blazing sun, inextinguishable light, embodiment of order, god of deeds. As the words reverberated, Jenna's surroundings remained unchanged. She couldn't help but regret not having made up her mind for becoming a witch and putting her faith in the Fool. That way she may have obtained the Fool's honorific name from Lumion, but it was too late now. Holding the lucky golden coin, Jenna continued in Hermes, "Great Mr. Fool, please help me leave this place. Please protect Trier." Oh, it's so peak! It's so peak! In the Market District, apartment 207, Lumion suddenly awoke, feeling a faint warmth in his chest. Oh, it's so peak! It's so peak! There are no atheists with in a sinking ship, boys. She was like, I'm not gonna change my faith. I truly believe in the Lord of, in the eternal blazing sun. Praise for 1 second, doesn't respond. Great, Mr. Fool, please help me. Oh, it's so peak. What happened? Mr. Fool's seal has been activated. I did want to MX, but just I feel okay. If I need to, I'll take it a little bit later. What happened to Mr. Fool's seal? Has it been activated? Did Termiboris try to escape? Lumion thought. Sunlight filtered through the door on curtains, casting a semi-darkness over room 207. You know, if Jenna dies, I gotta stop reading. Oh, Ruth. Do I have a surprise? Do I have a sad surprise for you in volume 6? Oof. But Lumion was different. At first glance, there was nothing unusual, as if someone had overslept. But Lumion was different. His body reset every morning, naturally waking up at 6 a.m. It was already autumn, and Trier didn't see the first light until 7. Lumion recalled the earthquake that occurred not too long ago, suspecting the official Beyonders may have taken some action. He'd gone back to sleep after listening, but it was still late at night. Either Termiboris had escaped, and I'm no longer affected by the Circle inhabitant's power, or there was an anomaly. Lumion raised the corner of a curtain. What he saw was a familiar daily scene, but soon Lumion noticed blurry figures floating in the air. Figures that had different faces, all sharing an unsettling stiffness, bearing a certain resemblance to the corrupted Bovard's corpse and Gabriel, who had transformed into a monster. The monsters of the hostile pathway have invaded Trier? But where are Trier's protective powers? This doesn't feel very strong. It's more like a product of corruption, Lumion observed. Combined with the anomaly in the time and the westering sun, Lumion surmised, I'm not in the real market district. I've been drawn into the strange, suspected world to be the hostile. That's why the Mr. Fool seal was activated. Lumion released his right-hand grip, allowing the curtain to gently fall back. With a sense of purpose, he got out of bed and checked his belongings. Lumion set up an altar, erected a wall of spirituality, and prayed to Mr. Fool. One by one, he used his spirituality to light the candles and recite the Fool's name. The Fool that doesn't belong to this era, the mysterious ruler above the grey fog, the king of yellow and black who wields good luck. I implore you. Lumion's thoughts slowed down, and an uncomfortable sensation coursed through his flesh, as if an army of countless worms writhing beneath his skin. Interesting. The cycle of vanishing and resurfacing was akin to a monstrous entity. This malevolence would fade, only to surge back. The cycle of vanishing and resurfacing was akin to a monstrous entity in the water, extending its tentacles, only to be pulled back. Lumion struggled to complete the ritual, waiting in vain for the angel's protection. The influence of the grey fog intensified, leaving him no choice but to end the ritual prematurely. As the wall of spirituality disintegrated, Lumion thought, is this the celestial worthy blessing of Mr. Fool's response? He can't usually do it. Has he gathered enough strength to take a critical risk? This implies that the situation has reached a turning point. In Quartier Arastate, outside the Sacred Heart Cloister, the major arcana holder's magician and the elegant, pristine Justice stared at the building, a golden retriever doing the same. The ground quaked. It's begun, the magician smiled. They understood this commotion stemmed likely from the Deep Valley Cloister on the quarry, their aim to initiate a series of changes and set off a chain reaction, with the hope that Lady Moon, hidden in the Sacred Heart Cloister, would step out and trigger their plan ahead of schedule. By doing so, they could forcibly enter the Sacred Heart Cloister, provoking the EBS Church. The target was Lady Moon, the evil gods bestowed who nurtured a deity. Assuming there were a few angel-level heretics blessed within the barrier, Lady Moon represented the Great Mother and the most potent power amongst all of the Trier's heretics. There's a good chance she was at the center of the problem. If Lady Moon didn't engage, Magician intended to capitalize on the chaos, attempting to conceal the grand complex of buildings blessed by EBS and locate her. In fact, I've always had a sense that something is amiss with Lady Moon, Justice nodded. The problem may not be what we've suspected, and might have lured us here. However, regardless of the situation, we have many dependable companions. Even if something occurs elsewhere, I believe they can handle it. The two of us can't do everything, Magician concurred. Believing in our companions is hopeful and necessary. What's the matter? Justice asked. The seal experienced a fluctuation. Mr. Fool has sent a revelation, but I don't know if it's authentic. After tidying up the altar, Lumion, who was just about to settle down and think of ways to contact the outside world, heard footsteps approaching. Are they heading for my room? Has the dissolution of the wall of spirituality alerted someone? Like a colossal spider, Lumion relied on his flexibility and a hunter's physique to cling to the wall, waiting for the two people to approach. If they didn't spot anything, he would consider it a success and let them pass. If they sensed something, he would strike. At that moment, he felt a deep gratitude for the motel's appearance, filled with damage and signs of disrepair. This is why he could grasp certain protrusions, securing his grip. In just over 10 seconds, the door creaked open. Lumion focused on Gabriel. Behind the playwright stood Seraphine. It is indeed the hostel, Lumion thought. From this point on, as long as he could deceive Seraphine and the others, establish a connection with the outside world, and get help, there was hope. Gabriel took 2 steps forward and said, "No issues here," to Seraphine. Seraphine acknowledged his words and proceeded to the other rooms. Gabriel followed closely. As they ascended from the second floor, Lumion released his grip on the ceiling and landed, pulled up a chair and sat down. Leaning back, he kept his gaze locked on the door. After a few minutes, another figure approached. Lumion remained motionless, unsurprised, as Gabriel appeared. "Why did you come in?" the playwright asked. "I'd like to know that too." Gabriel entered the room quietly, shutting the door behind him. "Leave this place. I'm losing control. I don't know when I'll betray you. Also, Jenna has entered, but I don't know where she is." "She's here." "How do I leave?" Lumion asked. Gabriel began to respond, but the door to room 207 creaked open. Only then did Lumion sense the intrusion and turned his gaze to the door. Seraphine stood there. Lumion didn't panic and put on a calm demeanor. "You seem to know Gabriel well." "He's not good at hiding his thoughts," Seraphine replied. "Communicable." Lumion suppressed his urge to use the spell of Harumph. "I thought you had become a monster. The difference between me and them is that before I turned into a monster, I realized there was someone who loved me." Gabriel smiled. "Is this the hostel?" "Yes," Gabriel confirmed. "But the room isn't 7. Room 12. It's room 207, 309. Seraphine gazed at Lumion and said, "Here, they call me room 12. Seraphine is room 12? Huh? Lumion had considered various possibilities, but hadn't guessed what room 12 signified. Room 12 was where Madam Knight, her husband, her butler, lady maid, and children resided. Almost simultaneously, Lumion recalled the oil painting he had seen. The woman in the painting was naked, her skin adorned with faces. Those faces symbolized the room's occupants. "I can't influence how long the residents inside can sense the outside world." Seraphine tugged at her dress, her face contorting in pain. In other words, Madame Polly hasn't discovered me yet. Lumion heaved a sigh of relief. At that moment, Seraphine pulled down the collar of her dress, revealing a portion of her skin. Lumion could see the oil painting clearly. Half-hidden, half-exposed faces, looking terrifying. Why use a human model as a room? Why allow Madame Polly, Voisin, and the others to stay here? Couldn't they just move into this replica motel? To interfere with divination? Why does it feel like a ritual, like a specified step and requirement? Sensing that Seraphine hadn't left, he seized the opportunity to ask, how many rooms does the hostel have? From room 2 to 13. No room 1? There's supposed to be one, Gabriel answered, but we've never seen it. Room 1 has never moved into the hostel. Oh, that's terrifying. There's a fucking nuke just walking around who's never been in a silo, basically. Like, that person's just walking around Trier. Room 1, and you gotta imagine it's the most powerful one. Lumion confirmed that there are 12 doors, but there may be more than one evil god bestowed in each living room. Lumion realized that time was of the essence and changed his line of questioning. How can I escape? With the permission of the pixies or through the black hole on Avenue de Marche, but it's quite dangerous. It may lead you to places you shouldn't be. How many pixies are there? Where can I ask? 3. They don't reside in this world and only visit sometimes. They typically only allow servants to maintain order here. They are the flying and glowing figures you see. 3 pixies. According to the purifiers, they haven't reached godhood. I assume sequence 5, equivalent. But their unique states mean that they actively enter reality. Some saints might not even be able to attack them. Do the pixies have a regular pattern of entering and exiting? No. Do you know where Jenna is? No. The pixies' servants haven't found her either. They're uncertain if anyone has entered. The pixies have been ordered to investigate. Before Lumion could ask another question, Seraphine's face twisted. She turned and left room 207, heading upstairs. It was evident that her ability to influence the residents' perception was quickly fading. Is there a boundary here? Lumion asked. Gabriel nodded. Only Avenue de Marche and the area around it are real. It's surrounded by a darkness, deep void. Barrier. The word barrier brought to mind something Miss Magician had mentioned. She had spoken of a barrier outside their world, preventing the invasion of evil gods. Although Gabriel's description of the barrier may not have been the same, Lumion couldn't ignore the possibility that the barriers were connected. Turning away from the door, Lumion realized that time was of the essence. Seraphine and Gabriel's corruption would only worsen, rendering them increasingly out of control, and once mutated, they could no longer help Lumion and Jenna hide the truth. There are 2 pressing matters. First, how to contact the outside world or escape. Second, finding Jenna. For the first question, Lumion had a couple solutions. Activating the Blood Emperor's aura in his right hand to see if he could break through the barrier. Set up a boon seeking ritual, but to bypass this celestial worthy and transmit information to Mr. Fool. Test the spirit and flesh connection between him and Mr. K's finger. Attempt to summon Madame Magician's messenger. Attempt to summon Madame Hella's messenger. Recite the incantation and enter the curly-haired baboon society, the nation of Evernight. To find the fake Franca in this world and check if she possesses the ancient silver mirror they obtained from the underground. Create a commotion to attract a pixie or 2. 9. 9 was just empty. Interesting. Before delving into any of his plans, Lumion knew that locating Jenna was top priority. How do I find her? Jenna must have seen Gabriel, and she wouldn't take the risk of entering. She can become invisible. She has the patience to observe. What do I do if I'm her? I'd search for the boundaries of this place. I'd see if cathedrals have been replicated. If so, I'd try to figure out what's inside. Lumion waited for the ethereal pixie servants, blurry figures emanating a faint glow and wearing blank expressions. He swiftly transformed into Madame Fels via lie and descended to the first floor. He then became a vendor who didn't sell his wares nearby, passing by Madame Fels and leaving the motel. This was his home turf. Even though it was a replica, it didn't stop him from already knowing the environmental details. Lumion didn't hurry to Rue de Blue Blanche and instead circled Rue de Rossignol. He opened the door to his secure hideout. There was only one trap at the door, amongst the many he had set up, the simplest one. Lumion then swept across the room but didn't see the ritualistic furs he had hidden. It's not a strict correspondence, he muttered. The more he thought, the more he realized this place resembled a market district on the surface. But many details didn't. It's like a painting. Fake 3 Rue de Blue Blanche. Jenna clutched the golden coin and prayed. A thin fog materialized before her eyes before dissipating. It's working. Jenna didn't receive any revelations, so she had no choice but to persevere and maintain her guise. Time in this world appeared to pass so slowly. MX, you're tired. Bro. I've been streaming for 2 hours? 2.5 hours. Oh, good God. Suddenly, Jenna heard the door open and turned her gaze. The fake Franca continued her task without expression. Jenna's eyes locked onto Lumion's golden hair. She immediately averted her gaze and assumed an expression of emptiness, not certain if her seal was real. In that instant, she heard a familiar voice. As expected, you're here. Is that all you can think of? At the same time. Damn you, MX. Damn you. You're quite energetic. You're not crying, Lumion said as he closed the door. Jenna looked out the window, confirming that the figures had long disappeared. How did you get in here? She asked. As she spoke, she reminded herself, I shouldn't argue with such an immature minor. Lumion's gaze moved over to Franco. First, tell me, how did you? To be honest, he didn't know why he had suddenly arrived at this place. Jenna remained standing by the coffee table, ready to assume a dummy appearance at any moment, and recounted the dream revelation, how she came underground and acquired a lucky coin. Now I can answer your question. I was sent by Mr. Fool, to save you. Starting COI, Volume 3, yep. What's the time on you? It's only 7:43 for me. It's only 1:45 for me. My only is lesser than your only. Get fucked. He roughly understood why he had appeared now. Did Mr. Fool send you? I don't even know his full honorific name. Of course it's true. What puzzled him was something else. Why did Mr. Fool send him, not Madam Magician? If it was Madam Magician, she could have easily solved the problem. I don't understand. From the outside, the only difference between this place and the reality is Salle de Brie. I've only explored a few nearby streets and less than 1/5 of Avenue de Marche, Jenna thought. She then continued, and inside... For example, here, the layout of the room. Large pieces of furniture and reality are the same, but details are different. I think a world in a painting. Yes, a world in a painting, Jenna thought. Combined with the painter sequence and the paints and brushes she had found, she believed this made sense. It was like an oil painting that copied some of the streets in the market district. I'm glad you could also come to such a realization. It's no small task. This world isn't considered advanced. The oil painting created by an angel of the painter pathway might be a world in which living beings exist. Check Franca's hidden pocket and see if there's a classic silver mirror. Why don't you do it? You know what that mirror looks like. Don't tell me you're shy. If you're not here, I'll do it on my own. But since I can tell you, why should I do it myself? Jenna gritted her teeth and wasted no time. There's no mirror. Many of the pockets aren't depicted. Try magic mirror divination and see if it works. Jenna knew that Lumion wanted to use this opportunity to confirm if this world was connected to the spirit world and determine if his teleportation could work. She took out a magic makeup mirror from her hidden pocket. Before long, the preparations were complete. The mirror turned grey, but there was no light. It's likely there isn't a fake spirit world here. If you can activate spirit vision, you might be able to see a few remnant souls, but it isn't connected to the real spirit world. In other words, he could teleport within the world, but he couldn't leave it. With that, he retrieved Mr. K's finger. "What's this?" Jenna said. "A mystical item, but it can't make contact with the outside world." Most of the time, Mr. K's finger seemed impressive, but it could never be used to its full effect. Most of the time, Lumion had no use for it. When he needed it, the environment was special, preventing him from using it. "So what do we do?" Jenna asked. "No need to rush, I still have 8 other plans. But before we try them, we need to make a trip to Avenue de Marche and observe the black hole at Salle de Barbry." "Are you planning to leave from there?" Jenna asked. "It is my last resort, but it's also a necessary preparation. I don't want to try the other methods and fail, only to be discovered by the pixies and blocked by the tenants. When that happens, I won't be able to approach the dance hall even if I want to." Jenna followed Lumion down the stairs. Why did those heretics create such a world to hide in? I believe that is a secondary purpose. It seems more like a ritual, Lumion thought. Think about it. This place resembles a phony market district. The Salle de Barbry should be the only place left without any correspondence, and I've already told you that beneath the Salle de Barbry are old bones from the 4th epoch. It connected to the secret of the St. Robert Old Cemetery. I also think that's the key to the problem, Jenna said. As Lumion descended, he pondered. When the abnormality truly comes, will such a painting world temporarily replace some streets in the market district? Will only the dance hall remain intact? Who and what is this to confuse? In mysticism, this represents the application of the law of similarity. When similarity reaches a level, acts on a counterfeit can be reflected in reality. Could they be using this method to unravel Salle de Barbry's underground secrets and uncover the old bones of the 4th epoch? No, probably just not the old bones. They're probably trying to open the entrance to the 4th epoch. Trier. But it's not that simple. The entire ceiling level hasn't been destroyed or weakened. As they conversed about the fake 3-rooted blue blanche, their gazes froze. On the road opposite them, a woman in a loose-strapped white dress was staring at them. Seraphine, room 12 of the hostel. Lumion and Jenna had encountered a similar aura and feeling in another person. Seraphine. Is this another person? Is this another room in the hostel? Another model? Why is she here? It's as if she's waiting for us. The woman spoke. Fate predestined us to meet. Convergence always happens inadvertently. Alright, 7 more chapters, boys. 7 more. We can do this. Probably. Wallflower! Yo, how's it going? Convergence, predetermined fate. Could it be room 7? Voisin and his family? Lumion at this moment activated the black mark on his right shoulder. Spirit world traversal. He and Jenna vanished, heading for the entrance of the motel. Lumion had never set foot on Avenue de Marche in the painting world, so he didn't have the coordinates for there. The spirit world in the painting realm seemed still comprised dense layers of colors, transparent and strange figures. But the 7 lights at the top appeared rather blurry. Volume ending tomorrow, Wallflower. Guided by spirituality, Lumion pinpointed the corresponding coordinates at the motel. He swiftly departed the spirit world and found themselves on the street. What Lumion saw before them was the building 3, Rue de Bleu Blanche, the very spot they had just been. They hadn't left the street onto on Rue Anarchy, merely shifted 7 or 8 meters to the right. Circle inhabitant. Jenna and I are already in a circle? Voice and Sanson? Lumion asked. He temporarily abandoned the idea of teleporting, as their previous attempt proved ineffective. As Lumion spoke, Jenna discreetly retrieved a mirror, preparing to utilize black magic. She sensed that such a tense, critical moment, Ciel's inquiry, instead of initiating a series of blows, might be to divert the enemy's attention. Although Lumion had mentioned that Voisin was a sequence 4, a saint, she believed that they had to make an attempt to escape despite the odds. So what if he had undergone a qualitative change? Upon hearing this, the beautiful woman smiled. Seems like you were well informed. Before she could finish a sentence, Lumion took a step forward and harumphed. Two beams of light shot out from his nostrils and landed on the woman. Although the spell's power had increased following his advancement to Sequence 6, he didn't believe it would work on a saint. Lumion opted this approach instead of donning the boxing gloves to target the various negative effects of a contractee. As a conspirer, he keenly noticed a crucial detail. He and Jenna were in a circle, but Voisin hadn't left room 7. He remained within this woman, clearly hindering his performance. Therefore, he either had arrogance as a side effect, or he wouldn't have left the hostel's room for some reason. Lumion sneezing. It's not a woman. Not my goat. Not your goat. What do you mean? In that case, even if my spell of Harumph can't affect you, can't it affect your boon? The human models, corrupted by the painter pathway, adorned with the special patterns, were equivalent to mid-sequence monsters. The woman fainted. Almost simultaneously, Lumion and Jenna's vision blurred and they felt dizzy. When they regained their senses, they found themselves at the exit of 3 Rue de Bleu Blanche, facing the woman. The woman's lips curled up. Circle inhabitant. Lumion realized that they truly were stuck in a loop. Moreover, he confirmed that Voisin and his family couldn't leave room 7 until something happened. They could only exert influence on the outside through obstacles, or they would have opened the door and confronted Lumion with all their might. They sought to control the target with an angel as soon as possible. Even if Voisin had the negative effects of arrogance, it was probable for all 3 of his children to be the same. Without hesitation, Lumion sank his consciousness into his right palm, revealing a few bright red scars. Now? Alista Tudor. While this had no impact in the real world, it caused those around him to feel slight fear, causing them to tremble. But the response from this world exceeded Lumion's expectations. The sky turned dark red, and the westering sun appeared tainted with an iron hue. Rue de Bleu Blanche and the entire world trembled. Vendors and pedestrians, as well as residents, blurred and distorted. The woman in room 7 of the hostel was taken aback, trembling. An invisible force shrouded half of Rue de Bleu Blanche. Suddenly it shattered, revealing multiple cracks. Sensing this, Lumion grabbed Jenna's shoulder and activated the black mark on his shoulder again. This time they passed through the spirit world and arrived at the motel. The painting world existed between reality and fiction, very sensitive to the aura of high-level figures. As Lumion's thoughts raced, a distant rumble reached his ears, emanating from Avenue de Marche. Lumion and Jenna exchanged glances. Saw de Barbry? Something happened there. A subsequent change brought about by Lisa Tudor's aura? Or has the ritual began? Lumen's thoughts raced as he ran to Avenue de Marche. Jenna's response was as swift as his. Deep underground in a hidden cave, the rock walls here had been meticulously modified, featuring 2 vertical beams and horizontal beams. To anyone familiar with Trier's map, these formations strictly corresponded to a section of Avenue de Marche. Each rock was equivalent to a side street. Adorned with each rock walls were lifelike oil paintings portraying buildings of various architectural styles. Dark iron street lamps, pedestrians dressed as clerks, vendors selling an array of goods. These scenes were almost identical to those of the corresponding streets. On the eastern wall, 3 men in white shirts and unbuttoned vests were using murals to craft a complex, bright red door corresponding to Saw de Barbary. Their bodies coated in paint. Each time they completed the bright red door on the wall, it mysteriously vanished after a 5th was complete. They had no choice but to keep repeating. Suddenly, the mine trembled, and the cracks that were almost imperceptible appeared on the rock wall adorned with the scenes. The female painter in a blue beret and the male painter in red pants looked at the depiction of Avenue de Marche. They pressed their hands on the wall and vanished. The 2 figures emerged within the massive oil painting. The 3rd painter, a man in his 20s, remained on the outside. The distant expression on his eyes faded and he surveyed his surroundings. What the fuck is happening with that? Observing the mine's tremors and limited to this area, the young painter let out a sigh of relief, directing his gaze to the empty dance hall, seemingly contemplating whether to change his approach or wait to try again. At that moment, a skeletal palm, extended from the rock wall. It had a yellowish hue and a withered texture. As the palm appeared, it seized the man's ankles, aiming to drag him deep into the earth. Late at night, 11 Rue de Fontaine, Quartier de la Cathédrale Commémorative. Franca's dream had been an odd one. She suddenly jolted awake. Although the room was shrouded in darkness due to the heavy curtains, it didn't hinder her from noticing the spot under the velvet blankets was empty. Martin was nowhere to be found. It wasn't that she was shocked by Martin's disappearance. There was nothing he could do that would surprise her. What had caught her off guard was her failure to detect it. Demonesses had formidable spiritual sense. It was impossible for someone sleeping beside them to slip out without noticing. Franca got out of bed, dressed, and opened the bedroom door. The corridor lay in darkness with an eerie silence. We can do it, boys. We can do it. 6 more chapters. When this is done tomorrow, I will have read 100 chapters in a week. Less than a week, technically. And when that happens, I want you all to know. The next time you call me a bum, you know in your heart of hearts that it is untrue. If you wish to continue doing so, go with God. Franca blended into the shadows and moved silently through the shadows, her eyes fixed on the crimson-lit corridor. She even began to suspect that Ciel had failed to find her and enlisted the help of Madame Magician to teleport Martin away. How else would he have vanished without her noticing? The 3rd floor of the white villa remained still. Franca listened closely, feeling as if she was the only one in the building. Everyone seemed to have disappeared. She approached the valet's room and entered. Franca spotted 2 people lying on the bed, wrapped in each other's embrace. The 2 of them were headless, their necks nestled against each other, but wounds stained with blood. Good night, MX. No worries, buddy. You're good. Initially, Franca was taken aback. Franca recalled Ciel's description of the Iron and Blood Cross Order's supervisor, Olsen. Their heads seemingly come to life and left their bodies. Without further scrutiny, she closed the door and blended into the shadows. Franca wanted to see if anyone else had a similar fate. Upon going to the first floor, her eyes froze. Armors and weapons were gone. How the fuck did I not notice any of this? Franca thought. In the next moment, the washroom door on the first floor swung open and a lady maid emerged. The lady maid shook off the liquid in her hand and slowly made her way to the servants' quarters, her head empty and her neck stained red. Having hidden in the shadows, Franca cast her gaze out the window. The two patrolling guards had also lost their heads. Franca, having roughly confirmed the situation, didn't hesitate and snuck out of the villa. She planned to report this to Madame Judgment immediately and used the primordial demoness figurine to inform Brown Sauron. The latter necessitated a ritual. Franca was concerned that attempting it in this abnormal building would trigger unnecessary changes. In the darkness of night, the demoness of pleasure lurked in the shadows of an empty home. She exited the building and circled the lawn. Beneath Trier, Danitz forced open the door. Behind them, they found a small mine with 3 classical oil lamps. In the center of the mine, a staircase descended into darkness. Danitz retracted his fist and turned his body, signaling the sailors behind him to follow. Among them were hunters responsible for observing, seers using coin toss or crystal pendants to determine directions, a mid-sequence sailor to assist his teammates. With this, Danitz's team made their way through the stairs and tunnel. They found themselves in a caved-in quarry cave. It's been turned into a weapons cache. Not long ago, dozens of rebels lived here, Danitz chuckled. He turned his gaze to the end of the cave. There should be many similar hideouts nearby. Are the main rebel forces led by the Carbonari all here? Danitz, or a sailor standing by Danitz asked. I'm not blind, I can see, Blazing Danitz cursed. Now the question is, where did they go? In the market district, in the motel, apartment 305, Anthony was awakened by the previous earthquake. Ever since his escape that night, he had become sensitive to all kinds of movements in the night. Given the various signals provided by the intelligence they had discussed, he couldn't fall asleep. Anthony got out of bed and poured a glass of beer to ease his anxiety. After using Placate on himself, he intended to force himself to sleep a little longer. Dude, that'd be so fucking jokes, though. Imagine. You wake up and you're like, damn, it's probably nothing. Have a beer. You're like, I'm gonna go back to bed. You wake up in the morning, and then you go over and you're like, hey Lumion, like, do we have any updates or anything? Do we know what happened with the, like, did you feel the earthquake last night? And Lumion goes, motherfucker, I just fought a fucking saint last night. You were taking a nap, you dumb bitch. At that moment, he heard a pounding at the motel's entrance. Who returned so late at night? Feels a little urgent, Anthony thought. Before long, footsteps approached his door. He opened the door to peer into the corridor and spotted an impatient man. It was an informant he had developed. What happened? Anthony asked. There is a huge strike at the docks tomorrow. Rumor has it weapons will be issued. Weapons? Anthony's mind filled with images of barricades, bombs, smoke grenades, rifles. In Trier, due to the strong resistance of the citizens and their adeptness at protests and battle. John Barenthal? Something Barenthal? John? Yeah, he's like, listen, I fucking hate people who nap, okay? Like, listen, I just can't fuck with grown-ass men who take naps, okay? Such occurrences weren't too unusual, happening every couple of years. The only difference was their scale, but considering the critical situation, a massive strike distributing weapons led Anthony to believe that it may have been premeditated. Your intel is important. Find an excuse not to go to the docks tomorrow and stay at home. Instinctively, the informant bit into the Louis door, bid Anthony farewell, and departed. Anthony wasted no time to descend to the second floor. He knocked on the door, and as the sound reverberated, there was no movement. Anthony stopped and furrowed his brow. Yeah, exactly, Anthony. Yeah. I think it's John Barrett. What the fuck is his name? Yeah, John Bernthal, yeah. Yo, there's a new Punisher movie or Punisher something coming out? TV special presentation? Maybe it's a one-off? The Punisher, One Last Kill? What the fuck? In the painting world, the westering sun cast its illumination on Anarchy Street. Lumion and Jenna hurried past the broken glass street lamp, sprinting. They were uncertain when Room 7, where Voisin's family resided, would discover their teleportation destination. Their goal was to reach the black hole as soon as possible. This way, even if the other plans failed or they couldn't be done, they still had a final option: to enter the black hole and try their luck. Lumion led Jenna forward, and Avenue de Marche came into view. He grabbed Jenna's shoulder and spewed crimson flames from his body, enveloping them. They sped forward with incredible velocity. Lumion forcibly led Jenna across a distance of 7 or 8 meters. Across this process, Jenna, unlike Lumion, wasn't immune to the flames. Her hair and skin got singed, but she didn't struggle. In the blink of an eye, they reached the edge of Avenue de Marche. From there, they had a clear view of Saut de Balbry, allowing Lumion to identify his destination. What he saw was where they'd arrive. The black mark on his shoulder emitted a dim light again. In that moment, they appeared beside the darkness. At that moment, a crystal-like wall materialized before them, extending up and closing the entire dance hall. Lumion and Jenna gazed up and saw the two figures in the air. A young woman wearing a blue beret. The other, a man in his 30s, wearing a similar attire but red pants for his lower body. They're painters. Interesting. Holding a thick paintbrush in his hand with a palette of mostly used paint. Painters. Those pixies? Lumion and Jenna thought. The man looked at Lumion with surprise and spoke. "Welcome back to the hostel, Room 1. It makes so much sense. Of course he's Room 1. He's got a fucking angel. Of course he's Room 1. He's got an angel and an entire city worth of people. Lumion's eyes froze. Room 1? Jenna couldn't help but turn to her companion in shock. This music is kind of busting though. I don't know why. This music always kind of does it for me. I don't know why. Upon hearing the term, Lumion was genuinely surprised. Seraphim and Gabriel mentioned that the hostel had a total of 13 rooms, but Room 1 had never arrived. It was as if he had never entered the hostel. Lumion always found this a mysterious omission. But now he was addressed as Room 1. Isn't even there. Are you good? What? I didn't say Uth. What are you talking about? Huh? Lumion was certain that the symbols on him were related to Mr. Fool and the entity known as Inevitability. They had nothing to do with the painter, while Termi Boris, the angel that resided within, was fundamentally different from the hostel rooms. At that moment, Lumion didn't waste time analyzing why the suspected pixie called him Room 1. He knew one thing, that unless he could eliminate or control the two enemies in midair or take command of the black hole, the hostel residents would undoubtedly notice the abnormality and rush here. Jenna was equally shocked upon hearing this, but didn't question Lumion or waste time. She retrieved the arrow of Bloodthirsty and plunged it into her chest. At this moment, she cared little about the accumulation of mutations in her body. Even if something was amiss with CL, they'd have to wait until they escaped before asking. As the arrow bloodthirsty pierced her chest, a dense black fog emanated from Jenna's back, transforming into a pair of wings. With a powerful flap, she lunged for the woman. Simultaneously, black flames gradually condensed in the witch's palm. Colossal bat wings extended from top to bottom, obscuring the painter's line of sight. The man in red paints turned his paintbrush around and dipped it in silver paint, drawing a menacing lightning bolt on his clothes. A lightning detached from the man's white shirt and struck Jenna's black wings, numbing her entire body. Dude, imagine how fucking cool you'd think, like, you give yourself a pair of wings, you fly up, and this guy draws like a Looney Tunes fucking lightning bolt on himself, like he's a knockoff Flash, and he goes, eh. And then you fucking just fall out of the sky. Oh my god, the aura loss is crazy. In that moment, Lumine's form materialized in midair, right behind the painter in red pants. Lumine chose to teleport. Seeing Jenna use the air of bloodthirsty to create the wings of darkness and boldly fly towards the pixies, Lumine understood that his companion was likely drawing their attention and creating an opportunity for him to attack. Lumine exclaimed, "Ha!" Before the painter, who had just drawn lightning, could even react, he closed his eyes and lost consciousness. The woman in the blue beret remained composed. Figures emerged in her eyes as if they held a world within them. One of the figures traversed the boundaries of fiction and reality, moving from the realm of fantasy within the painting. Aurore. Lumine's resolve remained unwavering, his eyes burning with anger. "Are you worthy of imagining my sister?" As he descended from the sky, fireballs materialized around his body and were launched at the woman. The woman extended her hand and pressed it into the void. Her entire being turned illusory. The fireballs landed on her, but they didn't detonate. They passed through her. At the same moment, the painter in red landed before Jenna with a distinct cracking sound. The excruciating pain brought him back from the unconscious state. He opened his eyes instinctively. Just as the woman in blue dodged the explosions, she exited her peculiar state and flew to Jenna. "Oh, bye, Harsh!" In an instant, she collided with Jenna, sending straight starlight and sparks flying like meteors. Jenna's body shattered into fragments, transforming into mirror pieces that reflected the sunlight. Her form appeared beside the profound darkness within Salle de Baubrey. Lumine descended with a whoosh, his feet landing heavily on the ground. At that moment, the three of them, along with the woman in blue beret, seemed to sense something. They turned their heads, casting their gaze towards the intersection leading to Avenue de Marche. Women with dispatched dispositions, fleeting eyes, and indifferent expressions emerged. They were Room 12, Seraphim, and Room 7. Gabriel closely followed behind Seraphim, his eyes growing increasingly vacant. Lumine and Jenna felt a creeping unease, as if they were descending into the abyss. Suddenly, a hand descended from the darkness within the dance hall. A hand devoid of flesh, composed of withered, yellowed bones. Yoink. Change Vanitas when we get to Market District. Got it. In the enigmatic cave adorned with the mural, the young painter altered his form and broke free from the palm's grip. He existed in a state between reality and spirit world, untouchable by anyone. His only capacity was to observe. At that moment, an incomplete skeleton emerged from the swamp. The skeleton appeared to hail from ancient times. Azek? It extended its bony fingers into the oil painting, corresponding to the incomplete Salle de Baubrey. Beneath it, more yellowed skeletons crawled out from the depths of the swamp. Azek can control like skeletons and shit. Don't look at me super weird. Hi, Alma. In the Market District. Oh. Don't make it sound like I'm an idiot. Isaac can control skeletons? Fuck you. There'd be a few skeletons? I think Isaac's entrance after so long not even having to show up is kind of goated. They're like, oh my god, the entire city of Trier is gonna die. And Isaac is like, not worth my time. I'll take care of it though. Don't worry about it. I think that is kind of goated. Though. Say what you want. In his office, Angolme de Francois, donned in a golden shirt, observed his subordinates. A violent explosion in the direction of the Deep Valley Cloister. Abnormal activities underground. St. Vief Cathedral has issued an order to maintain maximum vigilance. Someone at the docks is observing a huge strike tomorrow and giving weapons. There are also people organizing a march. The Purifiers had a vast network of informants, surpassing even the most prolific information brokers. When he finished, and he grew silent, no more subordinates came in to report. Angolme stood up, adjusted his collar, and picked up a substantial dossier. While doing so, he cursed, Hidden Blade, do you want me dead? Wait! Angolme de Francois is 007? What? He's like a relatively high-ranking... member of the church. The fuck? What? Okay, cool. Ever since Hidden Blade had informed him of Martin's collaboration with the Carbonari, the anomalies between the Carbonari and the Deep Valley Cloister, and the hostile situation, irregularities emerged from every corner. Only a few hours passed, but Angolme felt as though a tempest was brewing. He exhaled and compiled the gathered intel, Hidden Blade's reports, and the questions she had requested. The deacon's gaze roved. Bro, he's a fucking deacon! That's crazy shit! After some time, his eyes settled on one of the documents. She inquired about the St. Robert's Old Cemetery. The old cemetery lay within the current Salle de Barbary. He resolved to seek answers once more. Blasted Hidden Blade. Once this is done, if you don't leave the market district, I'll request a damn transfer. He intended to convey to the higher-ups that they shouldn't be overly strict about confidentiality classifications when it concerned intel. The sooner he could figure out the details, the sooner he could unearth the truth. After 10 minutes, he received an answer. The old cemetery of St. Robert's is situated above a node for the sealing of 4th Epoch Trier. In the past, there was a breach that led to the release of some 4th Epoch deceased. Subsequently, it was reinforced, and the situation was contained. When the sealing system for the catacombs replaced such nodes, the old cemetery lost its significance and wasn't retained. So that node is what they're trying to get at. That like reinforcement that they put in. They're trying, the heretics are trying to break. He returned to the office and fixed his gaze on the piece of paper. The paper not only clearly detailed Hidden Blade's inquiry about the cemetery, but also provided the circumstances in which she made the inquiry. This was all part of their investigation of the sick church case. Their goal was to uncover... Their goal was to uncover reasons behind the unusual quietness of Trier's heretics. Hidden Blade suspects the old cemetery is somehow linked to these plans. They aim to use the former leakage point to bypass the seal and open the gate? Entering the telegraph room, he informed the higher-ups of his theory and made a recommendation. Send 1 or 2 teams underground to investigate the original leakage point ASAP, preferably led by saints. His next task was to assemble his team and coordinate with the police, military police, and army to prevent the protests from escalating into riots. Additionally, as 007, Ongolme needed to find an opportunity to tell Hidden Blade about the secrets. There was no time for casual chats in the Telegram group. CL is missing too? After informing Madame Judgment and the Demoness of Black about Martin's abnormality, Franca returned to the market district, only to realize that Jenna, who should have been asleep, had vanished, and Anthony Reed... Before she could inspect the house, Anthony Reed visited late at night to report that Lumion had vanished. Yes, Anthony said. It wasn't like Lumion to switch to a safe house for sleep. There are no signs of a struggle here either, Franca said. Franca furrowed her brow, pondering the reason. Amidst her thoughts, she remembered that Jenna hadn't handed over the greyish-white cloth bag she obtained from the strange boy, Will. Seeing the cloth bag vanish, she heaved a sigh of relief. She must have been notified by that boy. But why did CL disappear? Could it be that Will's request was for CL to accompany her? After all, he was invited by CL's Major Arcana holder. Doesn't that seem like a terrible thing? Anthony said. So far, that's the case, Franca said. I'll use magic mirror divination to confirm. By the way, so originally, I don't know if I think I talked about this, that... Nah, fuck it, we'll talk about it later. Let's keep reading, okay? A lot of reading today. Let's just keep reading at this point. 4 more chapters. So far, that's the case, Franca said. I'll use magic mirror divination to confirm. Celia Bellow's current location. Though the name Jenna would have done, as Jenna had been using the stage name for a while, Franca felt it would be more accurate to use her real name. The living room of the apartment, the lights dimmed, and the environment became impressive. The mirror sank into the depths of a river, but Franca saw nothing. Could it be because of the boy? We'll try again in a few minutes, Franca said. Do you need me to go to the motel and get CL's clothes? No need, Franca said. That fellow bears Mr. Fool's seal in the aura of Alista Tudor. It would be strange if I could gain anything from divination. Time ticked by, and finally 5 minutes passed, and Franca used simple magic mirror divination again. Still no answer. But an aged voice spoke from the mirror. Celia Bellow is in an undetectable location. Where is Lumion Lee? I can't see. The voice spoke and receded. Franca began pacing back and forth, feeling that she had to report this to Madame Judgment. Before that, she said to Anthony, I want to use magic mirror divination to pray to an unknown entity. The results of his divination are most precise, and perhaps it can help us, but you have to swear to the gods not to divulge anything you hear. We're about to get the goat. The goat's finally made... Bro, who beat everyone to make an appearance, okay? Who beat everybody? He beat Klein, he beat Azek, he beat everybody. Eridas the goat. Eyes that watch all living beings, the stigmata from the primordial land, the omniscient one who serves the fool, the great Eridas. The glass of makeup mirror darkened, fluctuating and shrouding. Where is my friend Celia Bellow now? The mirror revealed an image. It was a mine that was too blurry to see clearly, and shifted, revealing a portion of Avenue de Marche. Franca recognized it as Salle de Balbry, but that building doesn't exist. Instead, it was replaced by a dark, crystal-like barrier. Jenna, dressed in a light blue dress, and beside her stood Lumion. They're together, as expected. Where is this? Based on the principle of reciprocity, it is my turn to ask a question. If you answer incorrectly or lie, you shall be punished. Have you ever fantasized about doing Trieran's favorite activity with Jenna? Oh, thank God, Franca sighed. And the shame of this question depended on Jenna's presence. If she were here, Franca would rather slam her head against the wall. But now, it was just a psychiatrist watching. What do I give a shit? I did. Franca couldn't help but blush. Anthony, who was observing, wasn't surprised at all. As a spectator, if he didn't discover Franca's feelings and thoughts about Jenna, it would obviously mean he wasn't up to standard. He didn't expect her to be so calm, though. Where is Avenue de Marche? Where is the Avenue de Marche where Jenna is currently located? The world is a painting. Erida spoke. The world is a painting. Painter. Pixie. Franca thought. Based on the principle of reciprocity, it is my turn to ask a question. Have you ever fantasized about doing Trieren's favorite activity with Lumion Lee? She wanted to respond, I haven't, but remember the pain of being struck by lightning. I have. Sometimes, just sometimes, I can't control myself. Anthony didn't allow his gaze to shift to Franca. Nor did he allow his expression to change. It was as if he knew what he heard was ordinary. The basic profession of a psychiatrist. Franca concluded the magic mirror divination and entered the bedroom, organized the information on Lumion, Jenna's disappearance, and the divination into a letter and reported it to Madame Judgment. After completing this and returning to the room, she was about to discuss the situation with Anthony when she heard a rumbling sound in the northwest of Trier. I don't know, I just imagine Eridus as like a Reddit mod. Oh, well, actually, you do not understand. That is not the way to do this. I shall ask you a question now. I don't know why. In time, as I've been reading the book more and more, I feel like my thoughts on what the characters would be and sound like develops a little bit more. Hell no, he's a refined butler. Yeah, you see a lot of refined butlers talking about who people would like to fuck, do you? Watch it say reinforcements and a motherfucking sequence 6 and 7 show up. Cringe shit, bro. If we're talking about reinforcements and I'm standing in front of a fucking saint, if you're not at least sending a saint or two, I'm losing my shit, okay? Like, have you guys seen this? Okay, sorry. Really quick, okay? Really quick, and then we'll get back into it. Like, have you guys seen this?
Hi there, can you open this door, please?
For what?
This is what I imagine Era does, okay?
I just want to make sure that everything's okay. There seems to be something going on.
What do you mean?
I don't know, I just figured I'd check on something.
I don't know what you want, man. Get out of my house.
Open this. Where's your daughter, man? Where's your daughter, man?
Dude, he kicked a stationary door and moved back like 4 feet. This is the most uncoordinated motherfucker I've ever seen. What the fuck was that? This motherfucker's never kicked a thing in his life. What the fuck was that?
Where's your daughter? Who's in there with you?
Bro, if you don't
Open this
leave...
fucking door.
Dude, that Charlie jump scare for like a microsecond though.
Open this door, I'm breaking it fucking down. You understand me?
Leave my house. You don't...
Are you okay? Is everyone in this house okay?
What? Everyone's okay. What do you want?
I love how this motherfucker thinks about kicking the door before just knocking. This motherfucker has never touched grass in his life. Holy shit. Like he didn't think about just knocking before doing that.
Can you leave my house, please?
You open the door, please.
You have nothing to do in my house. Can you leave my house?
You know what my name is?
I don't know who you are.
You know what my name is? Do you know who I serve? Are you aware of our great Lord and Savior, Mr. Fool? I'm just, they give off the same energy to me, okay? What is your favorite game? That's a good question. I think even after all this time, it's probably going to have to be Witcher 3. I fucking love Witcher. I've played that game more times than I can fucking count. Under the dim moonlight, a significant number of soldiers poured out from various buildings. They organized into teams with remarkable precision, either firing cannons at the distinct roadblocks or shouldering rifles as they advanced. Among them were combatants equipped with steam-powered backpacks and firearms. Inside a building within the camp, Albus, his hair appeared to be dyed red, sat confidently in an officer's chair. In his field of vision, disembodied heads dangled from bloody spines. These severed heads soared towards headless bodies clad in blue soldier coats, adorned with gold threads. They aimed for the vacant necks, inserting their spines with precision. Crack! They completed their integration instantly. The freshly created soldiers promptly retrieved their weapons and charged out. Albus clicked his tongue. This is quite the reminiscent sight. Will this night turn into a bloodbath? Beyond the multitude of towering steeples and the golden-hued buildings, Magician and Justice were alerted. An early uprising? Magician asked. Her prior astromancy predictions had suggested that the catastrophe was still some time away, but when Jenna caught the cyborg monk and discovered their ties to the heretics, it was evident that the destiny had shifted. The catastrophe had begun a little early. Justice, garbed in a light blue dress, listened to the booming cannons. Given the scale, it's clear that this won't topple the current government. It can only incite a certain degree of chaos. Could there be strikes, protests, march, and riots? These are the strengths of the Iron and Blood Cross Order and the Carbonari. Perhaps Martin and some of his associates went into hiding to spark the flames. But it appears their coordination isn't enough. Without effective collaboration, they can't make a connection. Magician's gaze shifted towards the southeastern region, where Quartier de Cathédrale Commémorative, the Market District, and Quartier de Jardin Botanique were situated. Justice nodded in agreement. This means that our teams have yielded results. They were compelled to accelerate their plans. It's impressive that they accomplished such a great feat. As soon as she finished speaking, the dull messenger, dressed in a light gold gown, materialized from the void. Good evening, Miss Justice. A good day to you, a messenger cheerfully responded. She was a misophobic OCD creature from the spirit world with a penchant for beauty, and Miss Justice was the embodiment of her preferences. Aw, that's so sweet! On the other hand, her employer had many shortcomings she found intolerable, disgusting, lazy. Ugh. It says all of that, okay? I didn't make any of that up. Therefore, she took on an additional task upon herself. Magician unfolded the letter and scanned its contents. A world and a painting. Did Eridus use the lucky golden coin and the Fool's seal on Lumion to gain a vague glimpse of the scene? Partial glimpses of Avenue de Marche. After murmuring to herself, Magician turned to Justice. I have a rough understanding of what those heretics are after and why they're utilizing the hostile's form and the essence of its roots. We can't waste any more time. We must go now. Control or eliminate Lady Moon before we search for the painting world. Justice nodded. She then smiled and said we should place our trust in our comrades and collaborators. Very well. Magician took a step forward and towards the heart cloister, her beige dress bellowing in the breeze. She raised her hand and a constellation of resplendent stars materialized. They both appeared distant and densely packed. The stars cast their radiance upon the surface of the Sacred Heart cloister. With a determined effort, Magician lifted the void in front of her as if bearing a heavy burden. Amidst the tumultuous silent vibrations, along with the steeples and the ground beneath, was projected into a pitch-black void. Brilliant sunbeams illuminated the interconnected buildings, as if conjuring thousands of miniature suns. They resisted the encroaching darkness, striving to reveal the void. Magician and Justice vanished, reappearing in a space that seemed to bend and contract. Close by, a crouching golden retriever activated psychological invisibility, carefully observing. Dude? Oh my god, it's so peak. Same, but different. Okay, same, but different. Painting World, Avenue de Marche. From the darkness that corresponded to the dance hall, dark red and rust-stained yellow skeletons emerged. They exuded a palpable aura of death, and the strong scent of rust and blood hung in the air. When gathered together, they created and intensified a frenzied atmosphere. This sensation was tangible, immediately shaking the crystal barrier enveloping the darkness. Witnessing this scene, the woman in the white halter dress who had brought the Samsons to Avenue de Marche, with an aura similar to Seraphim, brought over certain words, but the doll messenger flashed through Lumin's mind. Old bones! With a swift thought, he grabbed Jenna's arm and immersed his consciousness into his right palm. Bright red scars appeared and an exceptionally violent, maddening aura surged from his body. The sky, the clouds, and the sun all began to quiver. Even Seraphim and the other rooms, despite their experience, were taken aback. The two pixies were even more terrified, convinced that a formidable presence had descended. The incomplete old bones creaked and turned, bowing their heads in unison. Lumin raised his chin slightly and pointed his right hand with an icy determination at the rooms. The old bones, clad in tattered armor, brandishing rusty weapons, became dangerous fireballs that exploded at every genuine target. The pixie's pupils dilated as she extended her palm into the void. Her form turned ethereal, suffused with even greater emptiness. The hot white fireball merged with her form, resulting in a powerful explosion. Now? But it couldn't reach the distant fantasy world and harm its target. The painter, donned in red pants, had suffered a severe fall. With fractured bones and a sense of dizziness, there was no time to change his condition. His only option was to attempt a rapid repositioning, employing the maximum speed of a Sequence 8. He sprang to his feet, and just as he did, he was struck by a fireball. The pixie was left in a gory state from the explosion, his abdomen torn open. He lost consciousness, his life ebbing away. The white fireball, hurtling toward Seraphim and Gabriel, veered off course, distancing itself from the indifferent, vacant human models. The further it flew, the weaker it became. 200 meters away, it touched the ground and exploded. Perhaps the most dangerous factor was the woman in the white halter dress. However, the dangerous fireballs either bypassed the palms of the human model or exploded prematurely, akin to a Room 7 being impervious to attack. Not far from Seraphim, there stood a woman in a bright red dress. At that moment, she watched the fireball hurtling towards her, utterly motionless. The fireball grew fainter and smaller. Just as it was about to collide with it, it had completely extinguished. The skeleton swayed a few more times before disintegrating. In the cafe opposite, an elegant, plump lady materialized. On one hand, she seemed to have lost her vitality and appeared unusually ethereal, but she also displayed a yearning expression and gaze. With a whoosh, she sliced the blazing white fireball in half, an illusory vortex filled with fanged phantoms. Most of the fireballs lost their course and veered off. Beside the darkness of the dance hall, Never watch any shonen anime with headphones with max volume. That will never work, okay? Lumin watched the old bones transform into fireballs, attacking the rooms and pixies. He didn't wait for the outcome. He grabbed Jenna's arm, kicked his right foot, and lunged into Saw de Baubury. Two more chapters, boys. 2 more chapters. We got it. It's so peak. Oh, we're almost there. We did it. Listen, it seemed impossible earlier. They said it couldn't be done. Lumin and Jenna plunged into the darkness, the area that should have been the dance hall before the hostel's rooms. His vision plunged into darkness before the specks of spiritual light emerged. They converged like resplendent stars packed together. Amidst these lights, an ancient, illusory door materialized. Iron black, its surface marred with rust. Is he gonna meet Danitz here? Because isn't that similar to where Danitz went? In his untouchable state, the painter witnessed yellowed skeletons clambering into the colossal oil painting on the rock wall. Iron black and dark red lines outlined themselves in the previously empty dance hall. "It's not time. It's not time yet," the painter said. Although he and his accomplices had been attempting to depict this door, they knew it was destined to fail. At most, they would complete a fifth before having to restart. They persisted for the experience. Having already finished the main part of the hostel's painting, they had nothing else to do. Why not just try? What if a miracle occurred? Now, a miracle unfolded without their attempts. The painter gazed at the transformation. He couldn't help but look at the cave ceiling. Do we not need cooperation from above ground to make the entrance? Could the abnormality in the painting world be causing this? If we don't coordinate with the servants in time, even if the entrance appears, we won't be able to bypass the seal. Lumin and... Almost simultaneously, Lumin and Jenna descended as if through a dark pipe, approaching the void. Almost simultaneously, Lumin's left chest heated up and a terrifying raving echoed in his ears. He was familiar with this sensation, indicating the corruption of inevitability in his body. He knew Termiboros was up to something, and Mr. Fool's seal had been triggered. Unlike before, though, Lumin refrained from attempting to crack the seal to steal inevitability's power. He didn't enter a state of pain, he was just a bit dazed. In this daze, he saw Seraphim and other rooms with varied appearances seemed to detach from the painting world and overlap with the fake Avenue de Marche. The left chest of these rooms emitted a faint glow, suggesting they too had seals. Lumin's head spun, whether real or fake, unfolded before him. Seraphim and the other 12 rooms stepped into the void and surrounded him, visible and hidden connections intertwining. Jenna clutched Lumin's arm, sensed something, and turned her head. Flesh on Lumin's left and right shoulder writhed as heads emerged. One looked like a 10-year-old Lumian, covered in dirt and his eyes filled with ruthlessness. The other, nearly 30, with blood-red hair and iron-black eyes. What? Jenna felt as if she had entered a nightmare, seeing her companion become a monster. Lumin's body expanded, gripping Jenna like a palm-sized puppet. Behind him, illusory arms sprouted. Lumin didn't neglect the changes in his body. He saw his current form in Jenna's eyes. A 3-headed, 6-armed giant. Like the one in Cordu! Let's go! It all circles back, baby! An illusory collision reverberated in Lumin as he crashed into an ancient, heavy door. What, Kami? Where does this end? The concept of hostile likely emerged from the Tree of Shadow disaster, Lumion realized. At some point, Maipu ostracized, established contact with the other cults, informing them of Lumion's existence. They admitted the situation where an evil god's blessed was sealed within Lumion, creating hostels, rooms 2 through 12, inviting various evil gods blessed to take up residence, establishing a connection amongst them, based on their systemic similarity. When Lumion entered the world, actions taken on the other rooms of hostels were equivalent to acts on Lumion. When the hostel took shape and all the rooms pieced together, Lumion couldn't help but be affected. I passed? Oh, let's fucking go, Chris! Let's go! Look at that, this motherfucker can drive now! Watch out, people! Chris's enemies should look both sides before crossing the road now. Oof. Since their room displayed the level of their residence, Lumion underwent a corresponding change. The resident in him was an angel. After the so you can stop after 72? Okay, that's not horrible. After the mysticism-based hostile ritual, Lumion, lacking the strength of an angel, had briefly attained the level of an angel. This explained why Voisin and company didn't leave the room and attack Lumion. Termiborus was sealed, so they wanted him too. They had to maintain the state until the ritual ended. Of course, the heretics weren't kind enough to help Lumion experience the state of an angel. Their goal was to use this opportunity to enter the Fourth Epoch Trier. Opening the door using an angel's level. Hence, the hostel had to align with some areas of the market district and exhibit environmental similarities. Lumion speculated that the dance hall's underground corresponded to a weak spot in the seal. In the past, there had been problems. Many bones, guided by at least Tudor's aura, crawled out. The corruption leaked, affecting 13 Avenue de Marche. This made Lumion wonder if his arrival in the market district and his stay at the motel had something to do with the attraction the underground area had on hunters. Due to this, the saw de Balbri in the painting world remained blank and dark. When the ritual truly commenced, the surface's market district and the underground market district would undergo a switch. Reality would become a fabrication, and fabrication a reality, revealing or outlining the seal corresponding to the dance hall. When the time came, Lumion, an angel, could open the door. Maipu Mayor's return to the market district aimed to harness his actor abilities, acting as different people. He would enter various houses and assist pixies in grasping the specifics of these streets to complete the painting of the hostel. Worried that Lumion, Franca, and the others would notice, he avoided their rooms, lacking the knowledge. Looking at the door beneath him, Lumion tried to distance himself but couldn't break free, as if a magnet was sucking him in. Now, an angel, behind the door, causing him to squeeze inside. Thanks to the countless spots of spirituality in the darkness, the door didn't open. Lumion sensed it was because the ritual hadn't fully commenced. He and Jenna had barged into the painting ahead of time. Now, if the ritual was to be completed on the surface switch, there were two key points that couldn't be matched. First, the subterranean seal, which could only be released by destroying Trier and eliminating most people, now had the switch between reality and fabrication, a temporary acquisition of an angelic level, and the discovery of weakness in the seal. The requirements would be significantly reduced, but lowering the requirement further would necessitate a riot, bringing chaos to Trier's surface. Secondly, it was afternoon in the painting world, and the sun was only westering. And the sky was still bright, but in reality it was the middle of the night. Avenue de Marche in the market district. In the double-breasted brown coat, Angolme noted the secret of the old cemetery on paper, placing it in a safe house provided by the hidden blade. The deacon guided his robot towards Immer and Valentine, who waited nearby. At that moment, the rumbling salvos reached his ears. He turned his head to see the sky illuminated by flames. Most purifiers and dioceses were dispelled to quell strikes and marches, and the trouble arose in the military camp now. Was news of the massive strike sent to us deliberately, forcing a dispersion of forces to make it impossible to organize the manpower to resolve this problem quickly? A conspiracy, Ongome thought. I fucking hate this music. In Quartier Irastate, a wilderness emerged from the Sacred Heart Cloister. Lady Moon spoke, her smile evident as she addressed Justice and Magician. You might not have guessed who's sheltering us this whole time. Before she could finish, the sound of a baby crying echoed. Wah! Wah! I'm a little bitch! The baby's cries were vibrant, bringing forth endless sunlight. The entire Sacred Heart Cloister transformed into a blazing sun, piercing through the turbulent storm in space. In the real Trier, still sleeping citizens were jolted awake by the sunlight. In apartment 601, Franca and Anthony looked up at the bright sky suddenly. A dazzling sun hung in the air, positioned to the west. What the fuck is EBS doing? Okay, so we need to do 2 more chapters, not 1. Okay, that's fine, that's fine. I wanted to be done by 3 o'clock, which is in 8 minutes, but I didn't think it would. Ongome, racing towards the cathedral with Imra and Valentine to gather more intel, found himself blinded by sunlight. After a few moments, they gazed upwards. In Trier, where it had been late at night, suddenly became sunny afternoon. Feeling the warmth of the sun, Ongome couldn't shake the chill running down his spine. In the blink of an eye, a series of explosions echoed in the docks, La Marche Quartier Gentlemen, the locomotive station and nearby depots. Thunderous rumbles echoed through the air. The entire market district plunged into anarchy. Okay, Alma, if he was going to run someone over, wouldn't it make sense to run over the old people? I'm not saying, ideally, don't run anyone over, but if you're going to, isn't it better to do the old people? I'm just asking. In Salle de Balbry, Martin donned his silver-white full-body armor and positioned himself by the window, smiling. He observed Francois and his team departing the area. The leader of the mob had already envisioned the chaos unfolding. Without reservation, he unveiled the hidden might of the Iron and Blood Cross Order, aiming to sow maximum chaos. Whether it was Blood Palm Black overseeing La Marche Quartier Gentlemen, Vincent at the restocks, or Faustino at the locomotive station, each leading a team of arson. Fortunately, we were well prepared. If we had to expedite our plans, we can still complete the corresponding ritual, Martin thought. Olsen, standing beside him, said, "You didn't eliminate the demoness." "No need to waste effort on such a foolish demoness. She poses no threat, and taking her down would be time-consuming. You are aware of their formidable survivability. As for the others, I dispatch Albus to take care of them." Lumion. At the mention of Lumion, Martin's smile widened. He lifted his visor. Under the brilliant sunlight, the flames of La Marche Quartier Gentlemen painted the sky crimson. Martin tilted his chin up, closed his eyes, contently awaiting. The ritual was on the brink of completion. What did he know? Oh, he knew something about Lumion, I guess. In the painting world, the westering sun assumed a heightened realism, its glow merging with the faint shadow. Similar transformations unfolded across every structure. The subterranean market district and its surface counterpart gradually transitioned into tangible existence. The two began to mirror each other. Suddenly, illusory objects flipped upside down and the market district emerged on the surface, severing its complete seal with the rest of Trier. In the actual Trier, the dance hall existed in darkness, mitigating the effects of the seal. Within that darkness, the six-armed, three-headed giant Lumion adhered to the enigmatic door as it slowly swung open, stained with blood and rust, revealing a crevice seemingly ablaze with flames. Trier shuddered, and the sunlight sky descended. I hate to say it, but Lumion just needs to kill himself. The amount of damage he's causing to people just by his sheer existence is cooked. Lumion just needs to die. Quartier Arrestate, Red Swan Castle. Count Puffer, roused from his slumber, snapped awake in the midst of a dream. Bloodstained sunlight filtered through the curtains, accompanied by screams. The beige castle, adorned with bloodstains, trembled. Puffer felt a summoning and a magnetic pull from the depths of his soul into the underground. In his frantic haste, he disregarded slippers and issued a change from his robe. Barefooted, he sprinted to the corridor. How many nights had he yearned for this awakening, signifying the long-awaited recognition from the remnant spirits of his ancestors, the fulfillment of a prophecy, the hope of dawn for the Sauron family. Puffer understood the consequences for himself, but he faced the situation without hesitation. Hadn't every member of the family chosen to reside in this castle, not relocating, been prepared for this moment? To become a vassal for their ancestors' resurrection? Descending the stairs, Puffer entered the maze. It was the darkness behind him. A figure emerged, Alros, donned in a beige hunting attire. The girl, bearing both Sauron and Einhorn bloodline, followed her cousin at a steady pace. Her silence profound. In apartment 601, Franca and Anthony found themselves bewildered as they witnessed the sun. It's 2 a.m. What the fuck is going on? Anthony trembled visibly. Fortunately, having chosen to remain in Trier, he had managed to regain some control. They shared a glance between each other. Has the catastrophe struck? Anthony thought. But according to Bouvard's prophecy, it should be accompanied by rain and water. Before she could finish, her spirituality alerted her. They looked out, and a phenomena materialized in the building opposite. The two figures overlapped in swiftly parting ways. A wave of dizziness enveloped Franca as she plunged weightlessly and failed to utilize her feather fall. Anthony experienced a similar sensation. Affecting everyone? A ritual? The ritual to begin the catastrophe? Just as Franca considered suggesting leaving the apartment to approach the Fool's Cathedral, her attention was drawn to the abrupt changes in two items tucked in her pockets. One was the demoness figurine, which, even through clothing, exuded an abnormal coldness. The other was the ancient silver mirror from the underground, trembling. Coupled with the simultaneous movements of the two items, she suspected the presence of a high-level beyonder of the demoness pathway. No, unknown. One more, 472, one more chapter. In the Sacred Heart Cloister, now transformed into the sun itself, the cries of an infant filled the air. The cries unsettled Madame Magician, causing a multitude of door-shaped insects to crawl out. Miss Justice, her skin covered in grayish-white scales, was compelled to placate herself. The sunlight forced the two major arcana holders to shut their eyes. Before them, voids intersected. They recognized the incoming force, the divine power of EBS. Although this god hadn't physically descended, Lady Moon, who had nurtured a deity in the newborn baby she held, channeled some of his strength. The power of a god. Magician and Justice, though struggling, remained composed. They knew they weren't alone. Upon discovering this hideout, they had anticipated the worst-case scenario. On the Blue Avenger at the Levgeny docks, Alger, adorned in a sailor's attire, positioned himself at the bow of the ship. Retrieved an item from his possession upon seeing the sun. A card featuring Emperor Roselle, the Tyrant card. The Hanged Man had made a special trip to Trier, abstaining from involvement in operations elsewhere. Anticipating the worst. Dude, 3 major arcana holders? Damn, bro. EBS, even if you were here in person, I wouldn't like your odds, buddy boy. You're not that guy, pal. You're not that guy, okay? Oh, Paintress, I love this song. Through prior communication, pre-installed imprints and adept prayers, as a saint of the sailor path. Bro, he's only a sailor. You're not an angel yet? Get it together. He possessed the ability to employ the card, allowing him to harness someone's power, enabling resistance against the sun in the sky without jeopardizing the stability of the astral world. As Alger bowed his head in prayer, the card illuminated, causing clear sky to darken, and water droplets descended. A deluge of torrential rain. But didn't they say that the catastrophe would come with rain? What have you done, Alger? Listen, I'll say it. The fact that he's not a fucking angel yet is kind of sad. And get your shit together. His body straightened and his head snapped back. The card in his hand thickened and brightened. The pages of the book flipped, revealing forms of Roselle, alternating between the attire of a sailor sporting a nautical hat. The scene settled on the Emperor donned a papal tiara and a pontiff robe. His interaction with the dim sky summoned a colossal bolt of lightning. Amidst the thunderclaps, the illusory figure of Roselle merged with the Hanged Man. His demeanor became dignified, and the Serenzo River around the blue Alger calmed. Adorned in the tiara and the pontiff robe, Alger conjured a silver staff. Stepping forth, he ascended into the sky. Above Trier, thunder roared, and a visible hurricane swept up myriad of dark clouds. Within the vortex, dense bolts of lightning of various hues intertwined. The rain, like an open faucet, cascaded into every nook of Trier. In the blink of an eye, a layer of water covered the ground, illuminated by both sunlight and lightning. The citizens, roused by the morning sunlight, now felt like an impending apocalypse as they stared at the pitch-black backdrop, untouched by the sunlight. In the profound darkness corresponding to the dance hall, looming a colossal giant standing over 10 meters tall, witnessed the mysterious door to which he had been attached slowly creaking open. Gradually a crack emerged, and formless flames flickered. The iron-black door, tainted with blood and rust, broke free from its constraints, and the crack became more pronounced. Holding Jenna, Lumion couldn't help resist the ominous pull and descended through the door. The left of his chest glowed, and along with the entire hostel and the 12 rooms, they were on the verge of passing through. In the real market district, on the second floor of the dance hall. My coffee would have lasted perfectly if we were reading one last chapter. Fuck. I rationed it perfectly, but then one more thing got added. As reality and fiction switched, Martin, Olsen, and the other members of the Iron and Blood Cross Order who hadn't gone to set fires seamlessly transitioned into the painting. They remained on the ground, beside the darkness that represented the dance hall. It was thanks to a figure who materialized behind them. Behind Olsen stood a man in a formal attire, possessing a high nose bridge, deep-set eyes, and light blue irises. Behind Martin stood a man with meticulously combed dark red hair. Though wrinkles marked the man's face, his dark eyes emanated sharpness. The president and the most powerful vice president of the Iron and Blood Cross Order. Under their guardsmanship, Martin and Olsen remained unaffected by the ritual. As for the upper echelons of the Iron and Blood Cross Order, they wreaked havoc across Trier. Observing the dark depths of the dance hall morph into a blood-stained pair of iron doors, the 4 members of the Iron and Blood Cross Order entered without hesitation. In the deepest depths of the Red Swan Castle, within the hall located in the underground maze, Puffer, clad in a robe and barefoot, had already arrived. The coffin's lid shifted, unveiling purple, illusory flames. These flames merged with the iron-black ring embedded in the ground beneath the bronze coffin, blending with the viscous blood and withered hearts. Though this a deep entrance tainted with blood and rust, though this entrance emanated a lofty, bloody aura. "Eve, how's it going?" Count Puffer trembled under the influence of the aura, yet his eyes burned with fanaticism. His first proximity to the ancestor. A smile adorned his face as he stepped forward. In the entire world, only the Sauron family with the corresponding talents who had bided their time in the Red Swan Castle, the mysterious leader of the Secret Order and the long-dead Emperor Roselle knew that beneath the Red Swan Castle lay another breached seal of the Fourth Epoch Trier. How does Zaratul fucking know everything? What is that guy up to? Well, I guess he's not up to anything right now, but like, how did that guy know fucking everything? Vermonda Champagne Sauron, who once dominated the family, had gone mad and entered the upper levels of Fourth Epoch Trier. His spirit lingered at the seal, inextinguishable. His roars echoed, affecting everyone in the castle. Now it was time to put an end to that curse that had caused the family's decline. Puffer felt a potent sense of mission and honor. With the conviction that he would die here, he laughed maniacally and pressed his hand to the edge of the coffin and lay down. His figure plummeted to the deep entrance. As Puffer vanished into the coffin, Elros, in a beige hunting suit, entered the hall. Her gaze swept over the white candles in the coffin, scrutinizing the changes in the seal. She then cut her finger, dripping 3 drops of blood on the ground, and recited, "The embodiment of the iron and blood, the symbol of the calamity of war, the priest who controls the weather, the great snarer Einhorn." After finishing the incantation, the blood on the ground boiled, expanding into a blood-colored lake before condensing into a figure clad in iron-black armor. Standing over 1.8 meters tall with dark red hair and a flamboyant golden earrings, the figure exuded androgynous, handsome features. Darkened eyes fixed on Elros as he spoke, "Well done. In the previous war, the family lost its most important object. We must seize the opportunity to make up for our losses, even if it's just a portion." With that, Snarer Einhorn entered the deep entrance of the bronze coffin. Finally, Elros sighed. Regardless, the Sauron family's curse will end. Yeah, I didn't think it was Medici, but I just... what the fuck was that? She just summoned another, what I'm assuming is saint? In apartment 601, Franca, with a mixture of surprise and concern, took out the demoness statue and this ancient silver mirror. Unsure of the significance of the abnormality in these 2 items, she decided to place them at a distance. At that moment, the mirror unexpectedly reflected the primordial demoness figurine, even though it wasn't in its line of sight, triggering a seismic disturbance through Rue de Bleu Blanche. Dark light surged from the mirror, enveloping Franca and Anthony. As the darkness subsided, only the coffee table, sofa, and furnishings remained in the apartment. Adjacent to the mural depicting a segment of the market district, behind the ecstatic painter, an ancient silver mirror detached from the painting world and gently descended from into the shadows. Amidst the indescribable heat and swirling world, Jenna and Lumion landed on the ground in a pale black stone bricks. Their eyes were met with the line of sight of a magnificent city in the building. A thin fog shrouding the city, giving it the appearance of a mirage. In the wilderness beyond the city, dark clouds gathered, lightning flashed, and thunder rumbled. A colossal figure, dozens of meters tall, stood surrounded by these natural phenomena. He lingered outside the walls, enveloped in smoke, flames, hail, lightning, rain, and winds, as if perpetual. Is this the fourth epoch Trier, Lumion thought? Not exactly what he pictured. Jenna turned to look at Lumion and noticed that he had reverted to his normal appearance, no longer huge, no longer having 3 heads and 6 arms. Alright guys, 22 chapters tomorrow, and we're done with volume 3. Listen, come with me. I will do it. Alright. Good stream, boys. I will schedule tomorrow's stream a little early. I'm probably thinking a little bit early, if I'm honest. So I'm thinking like 11 o'clock Eastern time. So whatever time it is for you right now, about 4 hours before this is approximately when we would start stream, okay? But I will schedule it in the Discord. Dude, this is looking so fucking good. This is looking so good. Oh, this is looking so good. W time? Okay, good. I'll be there. Sounds good, boys. Oh. Alright, guys. I gotta go pick up my sister from work, alright? Alright, W stream, boys. That was fun as shit. Anyone who says I'm a bum can actually genuinely go kill yourself. Okay, I want to be clear. Prime Wiz is back, baby. Get fucked. Oh my god, is that almost 4-hour stream? No, not 4 hours. Even that was a nearly 4-hour stream. Oh, this is so cooked. Shit. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to do this tomorrow again? Are you kidding? Fuck. Alright, bye boys.